Okay, so things are intense. Haeyoung's fully unleashed his fighter state, and it's wild. He's going toe-to-toe with an executioner, trading blows in a fiery explosion, and honestly, this dude had it coming. No way Haeyeon lands a crazy hit, cracking the executioner's defenses. It's brutal, but effective. The system immediately announces the kill, and the citizens are straight up inspired by this unexpected resistance. Haeyoung doesn't even pause, stepping over the fallen enemy while flames rage around him. Total dominance. A woman and a bear-like man are watching in shock, realizing a genuine fighter has actually appeared. Haeyoung is breathing heavily, but his eyes are glowing, showing he's completely consumed by the fighter state. He flexes and the flames intensify, showing off the raw strength he's wielding. It's a scary sight. The system updates telling us there are only SIX executioners remaining. Things are getting real now. But it's not just power. The system confirms Haeyeon is totally absorbed in the fighter state. This is next level. Someone yells that the rest of the executioners are heading north, and Haeyoung doesn't hesitate. He's dashing after them. A massive figure steps forward, and the system straight up breaks. It's analyzing this new presence. This guy's got a weird getup, but he's giving orders, and Haeyeon's already nodding, ready to move out. Hold up, the fourth wall is staring at Haeyeon like it's judging his life choices, and then it smacks its lips. The fourth wall is disappointed, apparently, saying Haeyeon should have been friends with it instead of trying to fight. Someone is begging them to hold on, but it's too late. Haeyeon's already charging forward, ignoring everything. We get a glimpse of someone in tight pants, and honestly, they look prepared for battle. Haeyeon is completely engulfed in flames, the fire radiating off of him. It's terrifying and awesome all at once. He's flying through the air, a fiery comet, and crashes into something massive with a huge explosion. But even amidst the chaos, the system is screaming that the raid is about to begin. This is it, folks. Haeyeon is flying engulfed in flames, and he slams into a group of people, straight up a fiery collision. Someone yells hurrah and orders everyone to kill them all. This dude is intense, and Haeyeon seems to be on board. Crowd surges forward, weapons raised, and Haeyeon swings his massive blade, scattering them like bowling pins. People are screaming and running, but Haeyeon is a whirlwind of destruction. No one is safe. We get a close-up of the hooded figure, and his expression is chilling. He's loving this chaos. Haeyeon is still soaring, keeping pace with the fleeing crowd, and the hooded figure declares the night will pass safely. But Dokja isn't letting his guard down. He knows something isn't right and vows to stay vigilant. Dokja thinks to himself that he needs to remain cautious, even if things seem okay right now. However, Dokja didn't let himself become careless. He's still scanning the scene, and something feels off. Dokja is determined to stay focused until the night is over. Our boy knows this fight isn't finished yet. Dokja is plummeting, but someone, a guardian, is desperately trying to catch him. No way. A woman shouts "Guardian" as she watches Dokja fall, and the system message confirms someone is sacrificing their life force to save him. Hooded figures swarm around Dokja, but he's bracing for impact, feet first, and lands with a massive step. But just as he hits the ground, a brilliant, glowing shield erupts around Dokja. Talk about a last-second save. The shield deflects the hooded figure's attacks, sending sparks flying and cracking the floor around them. The hooded figures retaliate with a furious barrage, and a resounding clang echoes as their weapons clash against the shield. Dokja is surrounded by a swirling vortex of energy, deflecting blow after blow. This shield is seriously powerful. However, the hooded figures keep attacking relentlessly, determined to break through the protective barrier. Dokja pushes through the onslaught, and the shield glows even brighter, pushing back the attackers. Our boy is standing strong, a beacon of defiance amidst the chaos, and that shield is holding for now. Okay, so it looks like everyone is stalling. They're trying to buy time for Haeyeon, apparently. But hold up, Haeyeon is straight up sprinting toward the hooded figures, a total kamikaze move. No way, he's engulfed in flames, launching himself at them with everything he's got. Haeyeon's eyes are glowing, and he's moving so fast, it's intense, bro. He slams into one of the hooded figures, and there's this massive boom. Things are exploding. However, the hooded figure barely flinches, and it looks like Haeyeon is getting seriously hurt. Dokja sees what's happening and goes flying, a blur of motion, trying to reach Haeyeon. But the hooded figure swats Haeyeon away like a fly. This dude is strong. Yong is crashing down, covered in blood, and it's not looking good. This is bad, really bad. Dokja arrives just in time, face set with determination. Our boy is about to unleash something huge. Dokja is scaling the tower, moving with insane speed. He's got to reach Yong ASAP. Dokja reaches Yong and asks if he's okay, but honestly, it doesn't look like it. Yong is a mess. They're both on the roof now, and a huge, ominous figure descends, radiating power. This is the revolutionary. The revolutionary asks if Dokja is the one who's been causing trouble, and the energy crackling around him is terrifying. Dokja doesn't even flinch, facing down the revolutionary. Our boy is about to go head-to-head with a god. Okay, so things are insane right now. This dude apparently is undergoing a full-blown revolution. He's transforming, and it's not pretty. People are flying everywhere as dark energy explodes around him. This dude is straight up losing it, becoming a monstrous wolf creature, and honestly, it's terrifying. He's screaming about crumbling hope, and it's directed at someone. It's super ominous, bro. See who he's yelling at? Another dude, looking all cool and collected amidst the chaos. The wolf dude is going ballistic, roaring about everything falling apart, and it's genuinely scary. The calm guy just stares him down, totally unfazed by the monster in front of him, which is kinda unsettling. But then we see the people caught in the crossfire. They're terrified, covered in something, and it's rough. Our boy declares this whole mess is the result of revolution, but what does that even mean? Everyone is freaking out, people are screaming, covered in goo, and it's clear this is about to get way worse. The calm guy reveals the enemy's plan. They're ditching strategy for raw power, and our boy is not happy. He's worried unleashing his full strength will hurt his incarnation, whatever that is, but he's gotta do it. He admits he's embarrassed to use a power he gained from Constellation, but needs it now, no shame in that. Suddenly, the wolf dude is asking, who am I? It's a total identity crisis mid-battle, seriously. And then boom, he activates Constellation status, unleashing a crazy burst of blue energy. Lines of power shoot out, swirling around him. It's like watching a supernova unfold. He's blasted forward with insane speed, a blue streak against the dark background, no way. The wolf dude is completely caught off guard, staring in disbelief at the incoming attack. Our boy slams into the wolf dude, and the impact is huge, sending them both flying. The wolf dude looks shocked, and honestly, he deserved that after all the roaring. Okay, so the system straight up tells him his incarnation doesn't match his status, then adjusts it. What? The wolf dude transforms, becoming this skeletal, horned beast, and his level jumps to historical, no way. Someone shouts that he's a constellation, and honestly, it's a little intimidating, even for our boy. But the power surge is too much. His physical form starts glitching and falling apart. He realizes buying time is impossible, so he decides to end it quickly while his status is still scaring everyone. He unleashes another burst of energy, a blinding flash of blue, and it looks like things are getting serious. However, the system immediately warns him his incarnation is too unstable for this skill. Oops. He used power he didn't have access to, and now he's muttering about jumping the gun. Classic mistake. This dude is seriously powerful. His attack is a wall of light, and it looks like it's gonna obliterate everything. He's clearly surprised by something, but this whole battle is a mess, and our boy is losing control. Someone yells for reinforcements, realizing this wolf dude is straight up falling apart. His body can't handle it. But the wolf dude just laughs, saying no one can kill him within the scenario. Talk about confidence. A guy with glasses is watching everything, looking completely freaked out by the chaos unfolding. The wolf dude's face is all teeth and malice, and then everything cracks like a broken screen. Someone whispers in exile, and it's clear this is bad news. Apparently, it means they're after his story. This dude is obsessed with getting his hands on our boy's story, and honestly, it's kinda creepy. He starts moving towards our boy, weapon raised, and it's a seriously intense moment. Dokja thinks to himself he needs to use electrification to take down this marquee. No pressure. The scene cuts to a rooftop, showing the city below, setting the stage for whatever's next. The wolf dude is perched on the roof, looking down. This is about to get wild, I can feel it. Dokja realizes he needs to take down the marquee without using his skills, a seriously tough ask. But how can he do that? It's a legit question, and he's scrambling for a plan. There's only one option, apparently, and it looks like he's about to go all in on it. The Marquis launches a brutal attack and Dokja barely dodges. This is getting intense. Dokja's arm gets sliced open, but he uses the momentum to land a counterattack, straight up risking everything. He's going for a direct hit and the Marquis is looking shocked. Did Dokja actually land it? The attack connects and the Marquis is blasted back, flames erupting around him and our boy. Marquis is reeling and his face is a mask of fury. This dude is not happy. His eyes glow red with rage and honestly, this is when you know things are about to get real. The Marquis glares at Dokja and his expression is pure, unadulterated malice. No way this ends well. The Marquis is down but not out. He's activating Immortal Body, a skill from the Wuxia system. Haeyong, the blonde dude, recognizes it instantly and is straight up grinning. This is huge. Haeyong shouts about the Immortal Body skill being from Wuxia, and someone earlier was also from there. He realizes the Black Flame Dragon wasn't just talking to the Marquis, he was recruiting. Someone yells to attack them and kill the fighter first, and honestly, it's a smart move. Suddenly, a revolutionary appears, jumping into the fray to save Dokja. What a hero. More figures emerge, armed with farming tools, rushing to help. A chaotic but awesome scene. We get a wide shot of the rooftop, swarming with enemies. It's a full-on siege, bro. The enemies are closing in and it looks bleak, but Haeyeon asks if anyone has ideas because they can't kill the nobles. The situation is dire, but our boy Dokja isn't backing down. This is where the real strategy begins. Dokja's eyes are blazing and he's launching himself at the Marquis, straight up ignoring everyone else. He's aiming for a fatal blow, no hesitation whatsoever. Okay, so things are really escalating. A massive army of shadowy figures appears and it's straight up terrifying. We see a dude with white hair getting wrecked, but honestly, this dude had it coming facing that many enemies. A message pops up saying this whole ordeal only applies to beings below a certain level, which is ominous. The big boss, looking extra menacing, realizes something's off. He can't believe what's happening. Our boy Kim Dokja is smirking, and it's clear he knows something everyone else doesn't, as usual. Someone gets blasted off a roof, crash, and it's a chaotic scene. Everyone's panicking. This dude is unleashing some serious power, a massive, shadowy beast forming around him. It's insane. He's grabbing the beast by the jaws and it looks like a brutal struggle, so much power on display. But the beast is fighting back, showing its teeth, and it's a close-up of pure rage and power. No way. Kim Dokja is clearly in control, but this fight is far from over, and honestly, I'm on the edge of my seat. Kim Dokja is getting absolutely demolished, his body starting to fall apart. It's brutal, but he's still smirking. Someone yells at him to run, saying he's outmatched, but our boy is clearly playing the long game. He's moving, yes, but not running. He's casually stepping forward as debris rains down around him. A massive explosion rocks the area, kaboom, and it's like the world is shattering around them. A notification pops up. He's obtained a historical story, which sounds incredibly dangerous and awesome. His physical form is deteriorating fast, but Kim Dokja isn't even flinching. This dude is a tank. The enemy, the white-haired guy, gets blasted backwards, looking shocked and weakened. Serves him right. Kim Dokja keeps walking through the destruction, ignoring the warnings and the crumbling landscape. The enemy coughs up blood, looking completely defeated, and honestly, the power imbalance is insane. Kim Dokja takes another step and the ground cracks beneath his feet. This is a straight-up domination. Kim Dokja cracks the demon Marquis Ostian's neck. It's brutal but necessary, and another demon falls. He follows up by absolutely demolishing demon Marquis Cortito, smashing him into the ground with a sickening crunch. Notifications are flooding in. He's gained new stories, killed 2 demon Marquises, and leveled up his achievement points. Another notification pops up, a new achievement unlocked, and apparently the high-class demon nobles are terrified of him. He's raking in the coins, 50,000 of them, just for scaring those demons silly. Honestly, what a flex. But his body is breaking down, reaching its limit. The power he's wielding is taking a serious toll. Despite the damage, he leaps off the building, ignoring the wreckage and crumbling stone around him. He's airborne, a silhouette against the crimson sky, and the whole scene just screams unstoppable. However, it's clear this fight isn't over. The demons are still standing, and they're clearly not happy. Kim Dokja flies through the air, a determined look on his face, and bro is ready for round 2. Kim Dokja collapses, admitting he's hit his limit, but he's got names to drop: Baron Gillette, Baron Sarabos, and Count Makba. He spits up blood, and the demons are absolutely terrified of what's coming next, honestly. The demon army is frozen mid-attack, completely shocked by whatever Kim Dokja is planning. He demands they tell the Duke, and his eyes glow an eerie blue, straight up radiating power. A smaller boy with orange hair is walking through the city, seemingly unaware of the battle. This kid is heading toward a woman frantically looking around, and she's clearly worried about something. She spots something in the distance, raising her hand in alarm. No way, this can't be good. The scene cuts back to the battlefield, and it's total chaos with debris flying everywhere. However, the demons are regrouping and they're starting to advance again. This dude won't stay down. Kim Dokja's smile is chilling, and it's clear he's not finished yet. The fight is far from over. The demons are losing it, screaming Young Hyuk over and over. Apparently, Kim Dokja's influence just surpassed the true revolutionary. A system message pops up. Conditions to create a story have been met, and he's gained a new one. And bam, a new story begins. Silver screen revolutionary. What does that even mean? A hand reaching out is touching Kim Dokja, and he's looking up, confused but hopeful. He says Bihyom and the constellations should have seen everything. It's like he's talking to an audience. Whatever's happening is making the Dokja egg react. It's quivering like crazy, honestly. The egg starts glowing, radiating intense energy, and it's beginning to record this new tale. Cracks appear on the egg's surface, and it looks like something huge is about to hatch. No way. More cracks form, and the glowing inside intensifies, like a miniature galaxy is about to explode. The egg is hatching, and the energy is off the charts. This is a whole new level of crazy, bro. A massive blue screen explodes into existence, and a system message declares Constellation, Demon King of Salvation, has entered the temporary channel. Everyone is completely shocked. They're scrambling to understand what's happening, and honestly, it's chaos. Kim Dokja seems to be the only one who expected this, staring intently at the blue screen with a strange expression. Someone yells out, realizing it's a channel, and another screams that the Dokja have arrived. The recognition is finally here. They're saying the demon realm is finally getting the recognition it deserves, which, yikes, that's a mood. This dude is losing it, claiming this is insane, and the dog beside him is clearly agreeing with its face. The message is repeating, confirming the Demon King's entry. It's like the system can't get enough of it. Our boy is now getting bombarded with the message, and the blue screen is filling his entire view. No escape. He's clearly disturbed by it, but also prepared. Straight up, this is getting intense. Okay, so things are getting intense. This dude is seriously focused, peering at something with a super intense gaze. He's holding this glowing orb. It's like a mini galaxy, and someone's yelling at him, asking why he's going so far with this. The redhead is straight up freaking out, questioning what this is all about, while our boy ignores her and the blonde guy. They discover this orb is connected to a Seeker of the End, and apparently someone heard about it from constellations. Wild, right? The blonde guy realizes it's a Dokja, a powerful being, and worries if this one will be like the others they know. But our boy is defiant, declaring he won't let whatever's happening happen, and the orb starts to crack. The orb is seriously messed up, with cracks spreading everywhere, and he's still holding onto it like it's nothing. He's got this whole "I'm not backing down" energy, and says not all Dokjas are the same, which is a bold claim. Someone is watching from the shadows, and honestly, it's giving me major bad vibes. This can't be good. The shadowy figure asks what it looks like, and the tension is building. This is where things are really about to pop off. He's all, "I didn't lay this egg," which is a choice. Seriously, this dude is denying parenthood of a cosmic being. Everyone's staring at him, totally confused, but he's just standing there, radiating confidence. Then the egg cracks, like seriously cracks, and a blinding light erupts from within. The light intensifies, and a notification pops up. The Dokja egg has begun to hatch. No way. Everyone whips around, shocked, as the egg bursts open, sending golden energy everywhere. Our boy reaches out, absorbing the energy, and the others just gape at him. It's a power move. Cracks spiderweb across the eggshell, the golden light grows brighter, and the tension is insane. The egg is fully hatching, energy is exploding, and everyone is scrambling back in surprise. The group stares, completely stunned, as whatever's inside prepares to make its grand entrance. He's bracing for impact, looking straight ahead like he's known this was coming all along. This is it. He's declaring that this birth isn't a blessing, straight up dissing the little Dokja. Bold move. This dude admits he hates Dokja, but seeing this one, he's starting to feel differently. Huh. Three guys are huddled together and they're talking about her, the baby, being born into a world she can't escape. The baby Dokja is all cute and squishy, but then it stares directly at them, creepy. The boy is holding the baby and it's letting out a little wah. It's kinda adorable, honestly. He's telling everyone to resent him like he's accepting all the blame, but the baby is just there. Another notification pops up. The baby Dokja stares at you. This is getting intense, bro. The baby is wailing and he's holding it close. It's a weird, emotional moment, NGL. He's saying they should love the stories, but then a building appears in the distance. The scene shifts to a massive structure and the baby Dokja is still crying. What is going on? No way the baby Dokja thinks Kim Yuseum is its parent, seriously. It's not just a feeling, the baby's soul is connected to him. That's a lot. Then a huge glowing figure descends and the baby Dokja cries out, "I've waited so long, mister." Kim Yuseum is stunned, realizing this is a Dokja's time, whatever that means. He's starting to understand that to manage all these Dokjabis, he needs to judge them. But the glowing figure is revealed to be a woman, and she says, "Long time no see, Yuseum." She claims time is flowing slowly for them, and honestly, the tension is building. She's looking right at him and it's clear she's been waiting for this moment. This is getting wild. Yuseum is realizing that the birth of this baby Dokja was orchestrated. It was meant to happen. Our boy is piecing it together, understanding that this is all connected to the channels and the system. Yuseum suddenly gets a story notification. It's the backstory of the Dokja's father, straight up downloaded into his head. The woman insists he doesn't need to apologize, saying she chose this fate, but she's still clearly upset. Someone nearby is blown away by Yuseum's power, claiming even the round 41 captain wasn't on his level. Wow. Yuseum downplays it, saying he's not special, but admits there's still a ton of work to do, which is an understatement. Someone asks if Yuseum needs help, and he actually seems unsure if he can do this alone. That's a first. But the woman quickly assures him he'll succeed and offers her help, and honestly, that's a relief. She reveals the round 41 captain failed and warns things are about to get even worse. No pressure, right? Yuseum says they can take their time, comparing understanding the situation to reading a difficult book. He explains it's all connected. This is just like the other stories, just another puzzle to solve. The woman admits she won't remember him once she's reborn, but playfully asks him not to tease her too much. Yuseum wants to tell someone something important, and a massive, glowing energy erupts around him. It's intense. The energy coalesces into a digital interface, and it's announcing the opening of the 73rd Demon Realm channel. A code flashes on the screen, hash by 90,594, and everyone is freaking out, but Yuseum looks totally focused. A blonde guy is losing it, pointing at the code, while Yuseum calmly holds a glowing, golden seed in his hand. Yuseum is explaining that this is all connected, like reading a difficult story, and the blonde dude is still panicking. The blonde guy's all like, "What's that?" And Yuseum just casually holds up the seed, no big deal. Yuseum says he wants to tell them something, but it's a total cliffhanger. What could it be? The blonde guy is still losing his mind, questioning the seed, but Yuseum is just chill. This dude is a pro. Okay, so our boy Kim Dokja gets a super urgent message. Get back to the main area now. Apparently time is ticking. He's carrying this tiny doll, which is actually a powerful being, a symbolic body, whatever that means. Suddenly, the whole world around them starts falling apart like a crazy, collapsing tower. It's total chaos, debris everywhere, and explosions are going off left and right, straight up apocalyptic. The little doll nods, and it's kinda creepy because she's not human, clearly. Dokja asks the doll if she's really answering as a toy, and she just keeps nodding, so unsettling. He's trying to figure out how they're even communicating because there's no established channel or anything. But then, a constellation demonic judge of fire chimes in, saying it's possible through the doll's symbolic body. Dokja is falling through the ruins, and honestly, it looks like he's about to be crushed. The Constellation says it's possible with a symbolic body in contact with an incarnation, so things are getting wild. Archangel Uriel is forbidden from entering the demon realm, and Dokja is getting grilled about why he's searching so hard for someone. Dokja brushes it off, saying it has nothing to do with Dokja, he just hates imposters. The doll, though, casually drops that there are tons of useful items in the demon realm, which is sus. Dokja's face is all tight and stressed, like he's holding back a serious reaction. But he's barely managed to keep it together before the demonic judge of Fire Constellation starts grinning. Dokja's starting to crack, and the constellation is totally enjoying it, no way. He warns the doll that if she laughs again, he's ripping her body apart, straight up threatening a plushie. Dokja keeps falling through the ruins, and this dude is clearly furious about something. Constellation is clearly messing with him, and Dokja is about to lose it. He's clenching his jaw, and honestly, the situation is about to explode. Okay, so it turns out the revolution messed with Gylabat's industrial complex, big time. This dude, a marquis of Gylabat, is laying down the law, demanding the Gylabat envoy stay put. He's straight up a prime candidate to be the next Duke of the 73rd Demon Realm, and everyone knows it. Apparently, this marquis has explosive shoulders. Whatever that means, it sounds intimidating. The marquis asks if Dokja is finished speaking, but our boy is clearly stalling for time. Dokja tries to bounce, but the marquis isn't letting him go that easily, no way. The marquis lays it all out. The revolution has upset things, and now everything is changing. Casually states the facts, and honestly, this guy is ice cold. The marquis is definitely sizing Dokja up, and it's super unsettling. But the marquis is a total powerhouse. He's a literal demon lord in the making. The marquis scoffs, calling the revolutionary a measly little threat, but the Gylabat envoy is quick to correct him. Apparently, this revolutionary has taken out 7 executioners and 2 marquises. That's not measly by any stretch. The envoy explains the last phase of the revolution kicks in when all the executioners in the industrial complex are dead. So Duke Siswitz is in serious danger. This is getting intense, and the envoy is laying it all out. But the marquis is totally unfazed, wondering why Dokja is acting so carefree in the face of all this. The marquis starts rambling about how it's been 30 years since a revolutionary appeared in Siswitz. This dude loves a backstory. He claims stories don't just belong to constellations, and honestly, that's a super ominous statement. The marquis is basically saying events like this are inevitable, and we're starting to see his true colors. The envoy suggests this is a blow to the marquis's reputation, but this dude is just amused, straight up unbothered. And just like that, the marquis reveals he finds the whole situation hilarious, which is kinda terrifying. Dokja straight up calls the marquis out. If he's so confident, why is he keeping Dokja here? The envoy drops a bombshell. Duke Siswitz lost both his marquises because of this whole mess. The marquis is unbothered, claiming he has no intention of betraying Gylabat, but then he throws a curveball. He says he was just letting Dokja know in case. Super shady, right? Then he asks the big question, does Dokja think Gylabat or Meliodin can even become the Demon King? The marquis leans in close, looking menacing, and demands to know if anyone can handle the role. He finally admits that someone else is gaining support from the constellations. This is getting complicated. The envoy announces the Dokubai will arrive soon, and things are about to escalate. Someone asks what will follow the Dokubai, and the tension is thick. But the marquis just shuts down the question. He's not answering that, and it's so frustrating. The marquis reveals the other demon kings will react to the constellations appearing, and then start showing up, talk about a party. He claims the 73rd Demon Realm is finally becoming a proper battlefield, which sounds ominous, honestly. Someone asks if they've gotten a connection to the management center, and it turns out they have. A message was sent. This dude asks if that's why the revolution is still going on, and the marquis just smirks, super suspicious. The marquis says it's just a bit of fun before the Demon King selection truly begins, but bro is straight up terrifying. He declares someone is a true demon through and through, and the panel is just intense. He appreciates the compliment. Wait, what compliment? This is getting weird. The marquis says he'll finally see someone running for it, and it feels like a threat, not a promise. No way, this rich constellation boss straight up declares he'll pay people to kill the collection slaves. Everyone's getting these weird notifications, and our boy Kim Dokja looks absolutely horrified by the announcement. A woman with red braids is yelling at a guy, and he's clearly upset about what's going on with the slaves. Another dude, this blondie, is also getting the bounty message, and he looks seriously disturbed. This other guy is arguing, saying just because they're slaves doesn't mean they've lost their minds. He's trying to get people to see they're still people, but someone shouts that they've already sold their souls. But not everyone agrees, with another voice saying some of them are still cognizant, which is a heavy claim. Someone else just throws out that they're basically already dead, and it's a super bleak moment. People are shouting to let the slaves go, but honestly, the situation is spiraling out of control fast. The rich Constellation boss is loving all the chaos, declaring he's excited by the intensified conflict. What a jerk. Mark tries to stop the guy with the axe, but he's getting overwhelmed by the crowd. Suddenly, blue screens pop up around them, displaying the Constellation boss's bounty, 300 coins for each citizen killed. Everyone's shocked, but Kim Dokja is especially rattled, realizing what this means for the scenario. The blue screens are practically plastered onto people, and the collection slaves are now targets. It's a massacre waiting to happen. Someone swings an axe at Mark, but he barely manages to block it, and honestly, this dude had it coming. People are falling left and right, getting cut down as the crowd descends into utter chaos. It's brutal. The Constellation boss is totally basking in the carnage, enjoying the reactions of everyone involved. What a creep. Kim Dokja scans the scene, desperately looking for something, anything, but finds nothing. It's a dead end. He realizes this is what scenarios are like, pure, unadulterated chaos and people just trying to survive. But Kim Dokja thinks to himself there's nothing he can do, and that's a terrifying realization for our boy. Someone grabs Mark and he's straight up terrified. This is not going well for him at all. Constellation boss offers 300 coins for Mark's body, and it's clear he's fueling the chaos. Mark clutches his chest, panicking as the offer hangs in the air. It's a brutal price on his head. The boss's guard steps forward, casually stepping over a fallen body, so messed up, right? Someone questions if 300 coins is enough, but the boss raises the stakes to 3,000 coins if they kill the slaves too. Now it's 13,000 coins total. The bounty is insane, and the crowd is losing it. Kim Dokja is holding Mark, who's clearly freaking out, but he's trying to stay calm. Another guy is getting grabbed, and the boss is just watching with a smug look. What a creep. The boss casually says the coins are great, and honestly, it's chilling how little he cares. Kim Dokja is trying to assess the situation, but it feels hopeless. This scenario is a nightmare. Kim Dokja tells Mark not to sell his story for a few measly coins. He's trying to save this dude, seriously. Mark is sobbing, begging Kim Dokja for help, and honestly, it's heartbreaking to watch. Someone points out a channel has opened, meaning constellations are about to descend, and things are about to get wild. The boss, a constellation called Nouveau Rich Snake, is absolutely furious at Kim Dokja. This is escalating fast. Nouveau Rich Snake puts a bounty on Kim Dokja's head, requesting a full-blown bounty hunter scenario. No way. The boss is glowing with rage, and the system is displaying all sorts of angry messages. Kim Dokja's really made an enemy. The floating white blob, Kim Dokja's companion, is bouncing around like crazy. It senses danger for sure. Apparently, other Dokibus powerful beings would have allowed the bounty hunt without hesitation, but Kim Dokja is different. The white blob actually floats away, clearly distressed, and Kim Dokja is just standing there, stoic as ever. Kim Dokja's face is unreadable, but he's clearly calculating his next move. This dude is playing a dangerous game. Kim Dokja's companion, the white blob, lets out a panicked bah. Something's seriously wrong. The blob starts cracking like it's breaking apart, and Kim Dokja's face is a mask of concern. The blob shatters into pieces, and Kim Dokja instinctively reaches out. It's a total mess. However, the broken pieces of the blob reform, and Kim Dokja's expression softens. He's calming it down. Kim Dokja declares all Dokibus have those instincts, and he's fighting against his own right now. He's battling the urge to accept the constellation's request, but this is straight up intense. Kim Dokja reassures the blob, saying it's okay. He's surprisingly gentle for someone facing a bounty. But there's more than one constellation involved, and the boss is grinning like he's got a plan. The boss reveals he's requested a subscriber to his channel, and honestly, that's a power move. He's ordered a bounty hunter. No way this is going to end well for our buy. Kim Dokja attempts to request a bounty hunter scenario, but the system straight up denies it. What? The blonde guy is losing it, freaking out, but Kim Dokja remains icy cool, totally unfazed. He's holding the blob and a strange energy flows from his hands. He's stabilizing it somehow, bro. Kim Dokja declares he's too busy to deal with this nonsense and tells the bounty hunter to get lost. Iconic. Okay, so we're deep inside this messed up castle, and it's all twisted metal and wreckage. Seriously unsettling. The scene pans up, revealing a ruined cityscape outside. This place is straight up apocalyptic. Dokja's giving orders to Aileen and Mark to manage the collection of slaves. It's dark, but he's gotta play the villain role. This blonde dude, Yu Myung-han, is explaining something to Dokja about the number of constellations involved. Dokja thinks there's only one, the Black Flame Dragon, but Yu Myung-han says there might be 5. What? Yu Myung-han ups the ante, claiming there are actually 9 constellations. Dokja's face is priceless. He's totally shocked. 9, it's a lot, even for a story he's read before. Yu Myung-han points out that the unidentified wall has special features, hinting at something big. Dokja is visibly thrown, clearly realizing how much he didn't know about this scenario. But seriously, 9 constellations, that's a whole new level of complicated, even for our buy. Yu Myung-han is grilling Dokja, asking how he managed to accomplish so much in such a short time. Dokja brushes it off, saying it wasn't hard, but this dude's hiding something, we know it. He claims it's difficult for him to even talk to one person, a totally weird flex, TBH. Yu Myung-han presses him, demanding to know why Dokja is asking about this. Dokja confesses he wanted to call someone, finally, a reveal, but who could it be? Yu Myung-han's face changes, and he seems to recognize the name Dokja is about to drop. Apparently getting this far was a struggle, and the scenarios are super tough, according to his companion. Suddenly, we see a foot stepping on a cracked ground. Something's definitely about to go down. And then boom, a massive, shadowy dragon appears, radiating power with glowing yellow energy. The dragon's head lowers, and we see constellations forming in the dark sky. This is getting intense. Dokja is thinking aloud, wondering if calling them again is a good idea, and Yu Myung-han asks what's wrong. Yu Myung-han wants Dokja to open up, saying he likes listening to people's stories. That's a little sus. We cut to a completely different scene with a blonde guy, and Yu Myung-han explains they need someone who likes stories. He's brainstorming, thinking Young Hyo-yeol is too cold, so the new character needs to have seen some hardship. Dokja is typing away at his computer, tapping furiously. He's clearly working on something big. Dokja's comments are producing results, and we see a screen full of text. It's happening fast. The system has created a character whose eyes can see the stars, and someone who will listen to their story. We finally get a good look at the new character, Hee-young King. Talk about a glow-up, bro. This dude committed truly horrendous acts, and the blonde guy confesses he deeply hated those people. Dokja's straight up spiraling, saying he can't tell what's real anymore and who's being genuine. Yu Myung-han asks if not knowing makes Dokja want to learn more about these people. It's a loaded question. Dokja's shocked by that, like what? He clearly doesn't want to dig deeper, bro. He explains they seemed like the bad guys, but maybe some are good, and he's starting to expect things from them. But Dokja cuts him off, saying there's no point in talking to them. It's a harsh take, honestly. Yu Myung-han presses Y, and Dokja just trails off, clearly holding something back. We get a super close-up of Dokja's face. He's clearly wrestling with some serious internal conflict. Then bam, a shot of Dokja standing alone in front of a massive, blank white wall. Yu Myung-han explains they're talking like this now, but Dokja knows it's limited, like they're aware of something else. The system message flashes. The fourth wall stares at you. No way they're breaking the barrier. Yu Myung-han explains everyone builds walls to avoid rejection. It's kinda depressing, honestly. He says sharing vulnerabilities leads to sadness and complete communication becomes impossible. Dark. We see snapshots of other people trapped in similar walled-off spaces, all alone. It's a bleak scene. But Yu Myung-han has a solution. He claims there's a simple way to fix this. He suggests they just write on the walls, like seriously, that's his big idea. Dokja is completely thrown, asking he's not seeing the logic at all. Yu Myung-han clarifies, others won't know what's written on the other side of the wall, so it's private. Then this dude grabs a paintbrush and it's covered in bright blue paints. What is happening? Yu Myung-han starts painting on the wall. It's a super bold move and Dokja is staring. This whole situation is wild, bro. They're trying to break down the barriers one blue stroke at a time. Yu Myung-han is laying down some serious advice to a blonde guy. Apparently, he did the same for the constellations. The blonde dude looks shocked and honestly, he's kinda giving off major entitled vibes right now. This blonde guy is straight up clutching the back of another man's coat, super intense. He's asking if Myung-han gave the constellations advice like this. It's a desperate plea, bro. The blonde guy's face is so close, it's awkward, but he's clearly begging for help or answers. Okay, so things are intense. The dragon is going full power, unleashing a massive attack on our boy Kim Dokja. He's dodging, weaving through these insane energy blasts, but it's a straight-up bombardment right now. The dragon's attack connects, creating a huge explosion. Buildings are crumbling, everything is going to pieces. Dokja's getting tossed around like a rag doll, but he's still trying to hold his ground. No way he's giving up now. Meanwhile, this mysterious blue-haired dude suddenly leaps into the chaos, moving at lightning speed. He's dodging debris like it's nothing, sliding under falling rubble, a total pro. What a smooth operator. The dragon is furious, calling Dokja a slippery rat. Honestly, the trash talk is getting real. The dragon unleashes another wave of attacks. These glowing orbs of energy are terrifying, seriously. Dokja's absolutely wrecked, but he's screaming just DIE and charging forward, refusing to back down. He's swinging some kind of energy blade, aiming right for the dragon, but will it be enough to break through? Dokja unleashes a massive counterattack, a blue energy fist colliding with the dragon's power. The impact is insane, energy erupts everywhere, and the whole area gets warped and distorted. It's a chaotic clash of energies, pink, gold, and blue lightning tearing everything apart, but Dokja is holding firm. The dragon is shocked, clearly not expecting Dokja to go all out like this. It's a great look. More energy blasts fly, but Dokja is somehow deflecting them, creating a shield of pure power. Buildings are completely disintegrating around them, turning into dust and debris. It's total destruction. The dragon's attack intensifies and Dokja is getting overwhelmed, but he's refusing to fall. Dokja is unleashing everything he has and the energy is building to a critical point. It's intense. A massive explosion rocks the area and the dragon is sent flying backward, totally stunned. No way. The battlefield is a wasteland, but Dokja stands defiant. He's still in the fight and he's not backing down. Constellation, this rich snake boss, is straight up shocked by Dokja's power. He can't believe what he's seeing. Dokja's unleashing this crazy energy and everyone around him is yelling revolutionary. It's getting intense. They're finding more monsters crawling out of the ruins, but Dokja realizes the Duke is orchestrating everything. The revolution is practically here and Dokja's pushing forward, determined to end this now, no hesitation. Monsters are attacking from all sides, but Dokja's just slicing and dicing through them. It's a total massacre. A monster lunges at Dokja, but he dodges and counters with a powerful strike, sending it flying. Ouch. City is crumbling around them, buildings collapsing, but Dokja keeps fighting. He's a machine. More monsters keep pouring in and Dokja is surrounded, but he's ready to take them all on. Bring it on. He's taking heavy damage, but our boy is still standing, a true testament to his will. What a fighter. Everything's falling apart, but Dokja's still focused, ready to finish this battle and bring down the Duke. The Duke is launching a full-scale attack and the facility is crumbling around them. It's total chaos. Dokja charges forward, slicing through monsters like they're nothing, but the Duke's defenses are insane. He's taking a beating, getting knocked back, but this dude just keeps getting up. Unbelievable. The structure is cracking and the Duke's machinery is going haywire, sparking and exploding everywhere. Dokja is surrounded, monsters closing in, but he unleashes another burst of power. It's a last stand. Duke's fortress is falling apart, sections collapsing, and honestly, this guy had it coming. The Duke's mechanical body is failing, pieces breaking off, and he's screaming. It's glorious. Suddenly, others are rushing to help Dokja, risking their lives. A true revolution is brewing. The Duke's head is glowing with power, and he lets out this terrifying screech. It's bone-chilling. Someone asks if the plant is operational, and the scene shows it's still going strong. The fight isn't over yet. Dokja is reeling, completely stunned by whatever just happened. He's questioning everything. The Duke is smirking, radiating confidence, and then launches another devastating attack with a massive whoosh. A colossal mechanical construct bursts from the wreckage, but it's immediately caught in an explosion. Total chaos. The facility is disintegrating, crumbling into dust and debris as the Duke's power goes wild. It's insane. Everything is exploding, flying everywhere, and it's a complete sensory overload, straight up apocalyptic. Dokja gets blasted backwards, crying out in pain, and slams into a wall. Ouch, that looked rough. He's pinned beneath a piece of debris, and the system announces his incarnation stories are gravely damaged. No way. Dokja tries to push the rubble off, but his hand twitches and he's clearly struggling. This is bad, really bad. The Duke is relentless, stomping down on Dokja, seemingly finishing him off. Brutal. But Dokja's hand moves, grabbing the Duke's shoe. He's not giving up even in this state. Dokja manages to open a channel, but the constellations are straight up ignoring him. Talk about a cold shoulder. He coughs, frustrated, realizing none of the constellations are responding to his plea for help. Rough situation. The nouveau rich snake boss is enjoying Dokja's suffering, and a nail-eating rat is getting a kick out of it too. These constellations are twisted. A minority of constellations actually want him to suffer more. Seriously, what is wrong with these beings? Suddenly, Prisoner of the Golden Headband appears, staring intently at Dokja and tugging on his hair. What's he doing? Dokja is confused, asking what's going on, but the constellation just keeps looking. This is getting creepy fast. We get a close-up of the prisoner, and bro, this guy's got a seriously unsettling grin. He's up to something. The prisoner's eyes lock onto Dokja, and a dark aura starts to surround him. Oh no, this doesn't look good. A massive, shadowy figure rises behind Dokja, and honestly, this dude is about to get wrecked. Brace for impact. Duke is getting absolutely wrecked, bro. He's screaming for anyone to help him out. He's trying to fight back, but this monster is straight up demolishing him with each hit. No way this dude, Dorja Kim, is actually transforming. He's growing spikes and looking totally demonic. He's getting huge, like building-sized, and unleashing a massive shockwave with a roar. This industrial complex is his power source, and he's absorbing everything, becoming a monstrous machine. Someone's freaking out, asking how this is even possible, but honestly, it's kinda what we expected. Another guy is losing it, realizing Dorja Kim intends to become the Demon King himself. No chill. It's confirmed this guy is fully embracing the villain role and going for ultimate power. The transformation is complete. He's a mechanical nightmare, a towering fortress of destruction. He's blasting off, leaving a trail of fire and smoke, and straight up asserting his dominance. Duke Siswitz is declaring this destruction to the constellations, saying it's exactly what they wanted. What a maniac. A minority of constellations are actually paying attention to Duke, which is ominous to say the least. Two guys are watching the chaos unfold, and one of them calmly says to wait and see what happens. Seriously. He explains that Duke's weapons, stories, and even plants are unstable and often destroy themselves if misused. See the weapons sparking and crackling, and then bam, they're falling apart, overloaded with power. The weapons are disintegrating, sending shrapnel everywhere, and it's a total disaster zone. The two observers realize this is happening just as they predicted, and that Duke's power won't last long. They point out that the nobles are basically fuel for Duke's power, and that's a grim realization. Another massive explosion rocks the area. This dude is straight up leveling everything. Everything's engulfed in flames and the destruction is complete. But honestly, Duke brought this on himself. Our boy is shocked. Duke's movements aren't slowing down like he expected. What is happening? Constellations are straight up loving this chaos, especially nouveau rich snake boss and nail-eating rat. Duke Siswitz is absolutely demolishing everything, and some constellations are paying him to keep going creepy. Someone yells for the revolutionary, wondering where they're hiding amidst all this destruction. Duke's mech is colossal and it's bearing down on them. This is bad, really bad. He's getting covered in debris and looks totally wrecked, but he's still trying to stand. The blonde dude stumbles, nearly falling, and our boy tries to help him, but it's looking grim. He shouts at the blonde, telling him not to go any further, that he'll die if he does. The blonde is losing it, asking why our boy is pushing things so far and telling him to just run. He's desperate, but our boy is determined. This is either bravery or pure stubbornness, honestly. Our boy realizes Duke's opponents are way too predictable, like they're deliberately making mistakes. He's muttering about how obvious everything is, but it's a bad time for analysis with a giant mech around. Duke's mech slams into something, sending debris flying everywhere, and our boy barely dodges. The blonde dude is getting pummeled. He's totally outmatched, and it's brutal to watch. Our boy tries to push the blonde away, desperately trying to get him to safety. Blonde is screaming at him, asking why he's forcing this, but our boy is resolute. He's battered and bruised, but our boy is still standing, pushing through the pain. He's falling, but manages to grab onto something, clinging on for dear life. Our boy is using everything he's got to stay upright, even as the world around him crumbles. He's exhausted, covered in dirt, but he stares forward, even as the last night falls on the industrial complex. Our boy is straight up exhausted, barely holding on, but he's convinced something is off with this fight. He's realizing the enemy is letting him win, or at least letting him think he's winning, and it's creepy. He's pushing the blonde to escape, insisting this is all part of the story, but the blonde is furious and doesn't understand. Our boy reveals he wasn't okay earlier, but now feels strangely fine, which is a huge red flag, honestly. He's running, dodging debris, and straight up ignoring the damage as he tries to get away from the mech. A message pops up, some kind of constellation is demanding he destroy the mech, and it's wild. But the blonde is still questioning him, wondering if he's mad about the messages he's been sending. Our boy is determined to change the story, even if it means facing impossible odds, and it's inspiring. He's moving fast, leaping across the wreckage, but the mech is gaining on him. This is intense. Another message appears, demanding he obliterate the terrible lump of scrap metal, and no way is that good. The mech is absolutely wrecking the city, and our boy thinks the damage isn't quite enough. He's expecting way worse. He's pushing himself to the limit, but the mech is taking a beating too, sparking and cracking under the strain. But he realizes something is seriously wrong, and this isn't about strength. It's like the story is off script. He's determined to change things and declares this isn't too bad, even as everything around them burns, which is kinda terrifying. Okay, so things are intense. This powerful demon lord is straight up toying with Dokja, ripping his clothes apart. He's asking Dokja if he's having fun. No way, this dude is messed up, casually torturing our boy. This demon lord Burial is absolutely massive, decked out in gold and looking terrifying, seriously. Dokja is trying to escape, launching himself off some kind of golden structure, but it's a desperate move. He's dodging these insane, giant mechanical arms. It's a full-on battle for survival, but the odds are stacked. Dokja lands on this cracked, ruined ground, and for a second it seems like he's safe, but Burial casually taps his foot and the ground starts shattering around Dokja. This is brutal, no mercy. Dokja's scrambling, trying to keep his footing as the earth breaks apart beneath him. It's a mess. He's getting closer to Burial, but the demon lord is just standing there, looming over him like a god. Dokja keeps running, cape billowing, but honestly, he's facing a power level that's just insane. Burial calls Dokja a fake revolutionary, but our boy isn't having it. He demands to know who Burial thinks he's talking about. Dokja launches himself at Burial with everything he's got, a burst of speed and power, but this demon lord is huge. He's weaving through attacks, a blur of motion, dodging massive mechanical parts and energy blasts. It's insane. Dokja's flying, trying to get some distance, but Burial swats at him like he's a fly. It's a total power mismatch. Burial's armor cracks under the force of Dokja's attack. However, it barely makes a dent, and the demon lord doesn't even flinch. Dokja keeps going, an unrelenting assault, but Burial is just toying with him, blocking with ease. This dude is seriously fast, a silver streak against the fiery backdrop, but Burial's reactions are even quicker. Burial unleashes a massive attack, and Dokja barely manages to evade, but the force of it sends him flying. He's spinning, trying to regain control, but the ground is crumbling around him. It's a chaotic mess. Dokja's face is grim, determined, but honestly, Burial looks completely unfazed, like this is all a game. Dokja's going all out, channeling energy into a massive blast, and Burial's armor is taking a beating. The impact sends cracks through the armor and Burial actually stumbles. No way is it working. He's unloading attack after attack, a flurry of strikes, but Burial is barely blocking. The force is unreal. Dokja is pushing himself to the absolute limit, electricity crackling around him, but he's clearly straining. Burial retaliates and Dokja gets sent flying again, straight through debris. Ouch, that looked rough. He's tumbling, desperately trying to recover, but Burial's just looming over him, a total mismatch in power. Dokja's face is a mask of pain, but he refuses to give up. He's gotta find a way to break through. Burial casually swats Dokja aside like a bug, seriously, and then says you're good like it's nothing. Dokja's not done, he's still fighting, even though Burial admits he doesn't have enough force. Suddenly, a notification pops up, Constellation class opened. What does that even mean? No way, Burial just activated Ruined Heart of the Young Gold Dragon. This is getting intense. Dokja thinks his incarnation is useless right now, but he's still throwing everything he has at Burial. It's a flurry of blows, but Burial just shrugs it off and Dokja's sent flying again. Burial casually dismisses Dokja like he's an annoyance, but Dokja's refusing to stay down. Burial straight up mocking Dokja, saying his determination is outstanding, but he can't win. But Burial admits he can't win either, and this whole fight is just making the industrial complex's final scenario sweeter. Suddenly, a massive, shadowy figure rises behind Burial. What is that? The monster is absolutely enormous, dwarfing Burial and its radiating power. This is terrifying. Burial's actually stunned for a moment, and Dokja's still on the ground, completely out of the loop. Dokja's looking up at this giant, and honestly, he looks like he's about to get squashed. Dokja yells the revolution is real, and it's a direct line to someone, a mysterious figure, bro. That figure is huge, a mechanical behemoth, and it's unleashing a storm of energy on Burial. It starts with that sentence Dokja realizes, and this massive robot is somehow connected to him. Burial's getting absolutely wrecked, buildings are collapsing around him. It's total chaos. The man screams, watching the destruction, but the robot doesn't even flinch, it's relentless. The robot's power is growing, and Dokja feels something, a resonance with this mechanical force. Burial is barely standing, but he's asking if this is Dokja's doing. What's going on? Dokja is still reeling, confused, but Burial points out the obvious. Revolutions often repeat history. This dude is asking if a new ruler will just take the place of the old, and honestly, it's a good point. The robot's face contorts in a terrifying grin, and Dokja's hit with a wave of something intense. Dokja's body is glowing now, and these weird, vine-like things are erupting from him. It's intense. He's remembering everything, the original story, the countless deaths, and it's overloading his system, bro. Dokja realizes he is the robot, or at least controlling it, a final defense against the system. No way, however, he's losing control. Okay, so we're at the Gylabat Industrial Complex. It's the main scenario area, and things are weirdly quiet. Dokja's here, but he's expecting chaos, and the stillness is throwing him off big time. A bunch of survivors are huddled together, clearly shaken up, and this dude with a bandaged eye is trying to keep it together. Everyone's looking at a mysterious figure in a long coat, and honestly, he's giving off major villain vibes. Dokja thinks it's too quiet, and he's already strategizing. He wants to torture someone with knowledge straight up. He spots a guy on a balcony who seems perfect for the job, but the demonic judge of fire is already warning him not to be a jerk. Dokja's not listening, though, and starts gathering his power. Purple energy is swirling around him, and it looks intense. He's zeroing in on the guy on the balcony, thinking he's the quickest route to information, but however, a bizarre figure with a deer head walks into the scene, sipping tea like it's no big deal. This deer-headed dude is completely unbothered by the tension, and honestly, he's stealing the show. The deer-headed dude straight up threatens to spare this guy's life if he answers questions. But before anyone can talk, the deer-headed figure grabs a random survivor and just attacks. No way, he's throwing hands, and the survivor is completely blindsided. The survivor begs for answers, offering to tell the deer-headed dude anything he wants. Bam, the deer-headed dude keeps hitting, and the survivor is getting wrecked. Everyone is panicking, even the blondie is looking horrified. Dokja's watching this whole scene unfold, and he's clearly calculating something. He asks where Yoongyok Yu is, but honestly, it's a little too late for questions. Turns out the guy getting beat up is Yu. He's the real one. And honestly, this dude had it coming, but wow, what a reveal. Wait, hold up, everyone's freaking out because someone is claiming to be Yu. This dude straight up yells he's Yu and then just starts vibing. What is happening? The system announces that revolutionary Yu is echoing through the 73rd demon realm. This is getting wild. Someone else shouts they are Yu, but it's coming from this massive, armored figure. No way. Another person claims to be Yu, and honestly, it's chaos. Everyone's yelling. Someone points out that with so many people calling his name, Yu must have a high-level story. Someone else says, lucky guy, but I have a bad feeling about all this, bro. This guy doesn't know where Yu is or what he's doing, but tells him to enjoy himself. So weird. But then the system announces Starstream is basically a world of stories. That's a huge clue. Our boy is realizing something big is happening, and I'm on the edge of my seat. What's the twist? Dokja Kim is confused. His reputation is rising in the 73rd demon realm, but he's never even said his name. The armored figure, who's also claiming to be Yu, says he's never revealed his name either, which is suspicious. A blonde, horned demon shouts at everyone, calling them impudent worms. This guy is pissed. Suddenly, people start getting swatted away like flies as the armored figure begins to expand. It's getting huge. People are scrambling to escape as the armored figure grows, trying to climb off of him. Total chaos. We get a close-up of the armor, and it's seriously intricate, almost like a walking fortress. Someone leaps toward the giant figure with a scythe, attempting to attack, but it's a long shot. The armored figure's eyes glow red and he's radiating power. This is not good, bro. He's gripping something tightly in his hand, and honestly, it looks like he's about to unleash something massive. Our boy realizes Starstream is a world made of stories, and he's connecting the dots. It's all starting to make sense. This dude, Yu, unleashes a massive blast of energy, straight up vaporizing the executioner. No mercy. The system announces the last executioner is dead, but then drops another bomb. Dokja's effect is lifted. Everyone's shocked. The Duke's power held them back, but now they can actually fight him. System chimes again, declaring all executioners are gone, and everyone can now execute the Duke. Seriously. It's the night of revolution, bro. The system announces the next hour is open season on the Duke. Our boy is hyped, realizing they've been given the power to punish the Duke themselves during this hour. People are immediately rushing forward, yelling to smash everything to pieces. Total mob mentality. Someone screams in pain, but honestly, this dude had it coming, charging in like that. The crowd surges forward, a wave of angry citizens ready to take down the Duke. This is insane. The night of revolution has begun, and everyone is ready to bring the Duke down. Let's go. People are charging at the Duke, but he just swats them aside like flies. It's brutal, no way. The Duke's swinging and crushing people, and the system is going wild with announcements about constellations getting hyped. Someone yells retreat, but it's too late. This dude is getting absolutely wrecked. The Duke scoffs at everyone, saying they're fools, but there's a condition to actually destroying his plant. He reveals no one can destroy the plant itself. It's invincible, seriously. The Duke lays down the law. He has to leave the plant for them to even try and take him down. More people are getting crushed, and the system announces another constellation is loving this slaughter. Aileen is working on something, and someone asks if she's finished. She better be. She says it's fixed up, but honestly, it looks like she's barely holding it together. Our boy is trying to get Aileen to safety, but things are still going sideways fast. The Duke straight up announces he's leaving the plant, but only if Kim Namu comes with him. What a twist. Okay, so things are wild. Someone sends a message to the prisoner of the golden headband, but it's totally bizarre. Dokja asks if anyone got a strange message recently, and then BAM, we see what it was. This dude straight up sends a message saying, grow my hair, grow, but it was supposed to be about losing hair. Suddenly, the whole place starts rumbling and shaking like an earthquake. No way. The sky cracks open with purple lightning. It's intense, and things are about to get real. Dokja realizes they are the ones causing all this chaos. The constellations are messing with him. We see two constellations, Nouveau Rich Snake Boss and Nail Eating Rat, totally shocked by something. Dokja is moving fast, like blur speed fast, trying to get away from whatever's happening. He's dodging attacks, energy blasts, everything is flying around, and it's a total mess. Our boy is looking determined, but honestly, the situation is spiraling out of control. Dokja somehow absorbs the energy from a single strand of hair, and it's insane, like a supernova in his hand. He thanks whoever sent the energy, promising to put it to good use, which is kinda creepy, honestly. Dokja's thinking about forging a sword capable of defeating a sleeping titan, which sounds like a massive problem. The constellations are going wild, shouting about the power surge, but Dokja is blocking it all out. He's focusing that energy, channeling it, and it's building up to something huge. You can feel it. A dark, shadowy blade begins to materialize, swirling with purple energy, and it looks seriously dangerous. The sword takes shape, and it's a beautiful, terrifying thing, a weapon forged from pure power, no doubt. It slices through the air with a swish and a wiggle like it's testing its power, and the energy is off the charts. The screen goes completely black for a second, then a single line of light appears, building anticipation. Then whoosh, the blade is unleashed, and it's a swirling vortex of dark energy, ready to slice through anything. Okay, so Dokja unleashes that sword, and the underworld straight up notices, like major alarm bells are ringing. The ground starts shaking, everything is rumbling, and Dokja's thinking, oh no, they're definitely gonna notice this. He's hoping Persephone and Hades are feeling generous, which is a big ask considering, everything. Then now, a beam of purple energy shoots down from the sky, and it's huge, like a spotlight from the gods. The beam intensifies and a massive pillar of energy forms, cracking and sparking with lightning. It's insane. Everything around the pillar starts to disintegrate, buildings crumble and debris flies everywhere, total chaos. But Dokja is standing firm, absorbing the energy, and honestly, this dude is a powerhouse. The pillar keeps expanding and it's like a portal opening up, but it's not a peaceful one, it's destruction. Kaboom, the energy explodes outward and it's a massive shockwave sending everything flying. The area is completely devastated, buildings are obliterated, and it looks like a war zone. This is a level of power we haven't seen. Okay, so the pillar collapses, but it doesn't just fall. It transforms into this insane, monstrous robot. The robot is huge, towering over everything, and it's got these glowing eyes that are straight up terrifying. It's revealed to be a guardian, one of the things designed to stop people from reaching the final stage. No way. This guardian is different though, it's been modified, upgraded, and it's radiating power like crazy. The constellations are freaking out, realizing something is seriously wrong with this scenario. They're shocked. The Guardian blasts a beam of energy and Dokja's bracing for impact, but it doesn't hit him. Turns out the Guardian is targeting Yu Young-yuk instead. Talk about a plot twist, he's the real threat. Yu Young-yuk, all smug, absorbs the attack like it's nothing, and bro, his power level is off the charts. He's got this creepy, distorted face, grinning like a maniac, and it's clear he's loving this chaos. But Dokja isn't backing down, he's ready to fight, and honestly, this is gonna be an epic showdown. Dokja is taking a beating, straight up absorbing the damage, but his incarnation is maxed out. A constellation steps in, shouldering some of the probability with Dokja, which is kinda clutch. Suddenly, the Guardian's eyes lock onto Namwoon Kim, and it's a total shift in focus. The Guardian descends, towering over the city, and Namwoon looks confused, to say the least. He asks if this is Subway Grasshopper, and honestly, the name is ridiculous, but the power is real. Someone points out Namwoon used his soul as the final ingredient. Talk about dedication or desperation. The Guardian lets out this massive laugh, and it's chilling. Did Namwoon seriously use those activation words? Here's the thing, Namwoon's power is building, and the Guardian is starting to react to it. The Guardian's stance changes, it's getting ready to fight back, and the tension is insane right now. However, the Guardian's attack is interrupted. Something is happening, and it's about to get wild. Namwoon tries to get the Guardian to carry him, offering a special favor, but it's a total bluff. The Guardian actually agrees, and it's terrifying. He's about to give our boy a city tour by launching him. Dokja coughs up blood, clearly struggling, and asks why Namwoon is in that state. It's a desperate plea. Namwoon gets launched into the air, but he's barely conscious and straight up starts bleeding from his mouth. He points towards something, trying to direct the Guardian, but his condition is rapidly deteriorating. No way. The Guardian descends, revealing itself to be a colossal, steampunk-inspired titan. It's huge and menacing. The Guardian's face is terrifying, and it's clear this thing is powered by something truly monstrous. The Guardian's long hair whips around, obscuring everything, and honestly, it's a dramatic reveal. The Guardian towers over the city, and it's a grim reminder of the power Namwoon unleashed. Okay, so the Sovereign is straight up saying goodbye, and it's not a happy farewell. She's sending someone to the underworld. But hold up, a massive mechanical beast crashes into the city, tearing everything apart, and it's huge. This thing is wreaking havoc, smashing buildings and sending debris flying everywhere. It's a total disaster zone. The destruction is insane, buildings are collapsing left and right, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Our boy Kim Dokja is scrambling through the rubble, dodging falling debris, trying to survive the onslaught. He's seriously injured, coughing up blood, but refuses to give up. This dude is stubborn, I love it. He's yelling at whoever's responsible, swearing he won't be dragged back to whatever nightmare this is. The city is filled with people running for their lives, and a lone figure with wings is caught in the chaos. The mechanical beast continues its rampage, crushing everything in its path. It's a terrifying sight. However, despite everything, Kim Dokja is still pushing forward, refusing to let this monster win. Kim Dokja straight up stabs the Duke, a massive fight erupting amidst the chaos. The Duke, shocked, asks how Dokja managed to get past his defenses. He's seriously rattled. Dokja's face is a mess, blood streaming down, but he's grinning like a maniac with his teeth bared. He swings his sword again, a blinding flash accompanying the strike. It's intense. The Duke shouts, warning Dokja he won't survive, but Dokja doesn't even flinch, total confidence. No way, the system message pops up. Dokja killed Demon Duke Siswitz and gets 200,000 coins. Dokja collapses, utterly exhausted, but he did it. He actually took down the Duke. Another system message appears. He's killed the industrial complex's dictator, Double Win. He's gasping for air, totally spent, but that doesn't stop him from pushing forward, bro. But wait, Dokja's still standing, ready for the next fight. This dude is a machine. The red-haired woman rushes to Dokja's side as he collapses, a whirlwind of energy surrounding them both. She's desperately trying to heal him, but Dokja is barely conscious, coughing up blood and struggling to speak. A monstrous figure asks what happened to the Duke, and someone responds, he's dead straight up. Dokja realizes killing the Duke wasn't enough to activate the main scenario. What? This is a twist. He's not the revolutionary the system expects, and honestly, that's kinda sus, right? Dokja grits his teeth, blood still pouring from his wounds, but he's determined to keep going. Our boy is resilient. The woman asks how much time they have left, and Dokja looks absolutely wrecked, but he manages a weak response. He admits he guesses killing the Duke didn't trigger the scenario, and the right to succession might go to Yoongyuk instead. The woman looks furious, clutching her fists, and honestly, we can't blame her, this is a mess. She demands to know how much time they have left, her expression hardening as she prepares for the next fight. Dokja asks Aileen about the favor he requested way before, something she made, and she looks shocked. He pushes through the pain, telling her they absolutely fought hard to get this far, but it wasn't enough. Dokja weakly begs her not to cry, insisting he won't die, even though he's covered in blood. Our boy is a mess. He thinks to himself, realizing this whole situation is way worse than he thought, and honestly, that's terrifying. Dokja asks Aileen if she remembers the thing he asked her to make, and she's visibly starting to panic. She stares at something on a phone. It looks like a phone case, and her expression is unreadable, like she's processing something huge. Aileen finally speaks, her voice shaky, and it's clear she understands what Dokja is getting at. No way. Dokja explains he was counting on triggering the main scenario, but it seems he was wrong, and now Yoongyuk might get the throne. Aileen's fists clench and she's straight up furious. You can see the rage building, and it's intense. She demands to know how much time they have left, and Dokja's face is a picture of desperation. This is not good, folks. Dokja realizes he's the reader, and the answers to surviving are hidden within the novel itself. No pressure. He remembers Aileen making something for him and demands she hand it over, even as she's clearly upset. Dokja needs to find a method mentioned in the novel, TWSA, to turn things around. This is a last-ditch effort. But his vision is failing, everything's blurry, and he's losing time fast. Things are getting desperate. For the first time, Dokja questions if this is truly the end, and honestly, that's a scary thought. He fumbles with the phone, trying to make out the screen, desperately searching for 3 ways to survive the apocalypse. The screen flashes and Dokja's shocked. He somehow completed a hidden scenario while basically blind. And just like that, he's back in action, ready to face whatever comes next. Our boy never gives up. Dokja straight up collapses, utterly spent. It's a full body shutdown, bro. But wait, a blinding light erupts and something massive is forming around him. No way, what is that? It's a gigantic, shimmering shield and it's absorbing all the incoming energy. This is insane. Someone's yelling what's going on, and honestly, we're all asking the same thing right now. Okay, so Dokja's waking up and it's not a good sign. He's in a hospital bed after some serious stuff. He's tapping around on this futuristic tablet, looking for info and finds a file, 3 ways to survive the apocalypse. He clicks on it and bam, it's like the universe is downloading all the knowledge he needs to survive this mess. But hold up, as soon as he starts reading, someone tries to kill him, pushing a rolling cart straight at his boot. Turns out our boy is now the heir to the Gyalabat industrial complex. What even is that? Dokja's trying to figure out how he got this inheritance, like, seriously confused. He's questioning everything. The story flashes back, revealing the sheer destruction caused by Dokja Kim in a previous timeline. Because Dokja straight up killed everyone at the Gyalabat industrial complex, earning him the succession rights. And the flashback shows the aftermath, a city in ruins, everything destroyed by his actions. So basically, he's the revolutionary who took down a huge corporation and now owns it. No way. Okay, so Dokja's laying there, still processing everything, and Starstream is fixing some kind of error in the scenario. Weird. He's thinking about Young-Yak-Yu, the guy who apparently attacked the industrial complex to save him, and is super grateful. But wait, Dokja suddenly realizes something is OFF. He's questioning how Yu could even know he was in danger. He's starting to suspect Yu is in a constellation, someone with special powers, and that's a huge red flag. Dokja's mind is racing, piecing it together. Yu realized he was pretending to be someone else and came to torture him. Straight up, Dokja thinks Yu faked the rescue to get close and is now pretending to treat him. Sketchy AF. Yu tells him not to shake, which is a little too intense, and Dokja is starting to get seriously creeped out. Dokja's flashback reveals he's the heir, but he's still reeling. How did he end up owning a whole industrial complex? However, he remembers wiping out the Gyalabat industrial complex in a previous timeline, so this whole situation is even more messed up. This dude Dokja Kim is a genius. He's realizing Yu's entire rescue was a setup, a twisted game of cat and mouse. Dokja grabs Yu's hand and straight up declares this is the power of stories, deep stuff. But Yu is not happy. She's yelling at Dokja for moving recklessly and raises a scalpel, about to cut him. She slices him and a system message pops up. His story structure is incomplete. That's BAD news. Suddenly, a blue screen appears and it's showing that constellations are asking about Dokja. They're taking notice. Apparently, most constellations are amazed by what Dokja's been up to, which is kinda wild to think about. Dokja reveals he summoned a story weapon and things are about to get super complicated. Oh. He's getting showered with coins from constellations 3000, then 4000, then another 3000, then 4000. He's so happy. The 20th main scenario is over, but his reward is delayed because he skipped too much of it, seriously. However, the scenario messages are coming back now, and there are a few bumps in the system. At least it's working. Constellations are curious about his identity, want to invite him to their nebulas, and someone's eyeing his story weapon. Dokja is lying in bed getting patched up, but he's totally focused on his phone. The dude's obsessed. Yu is not pleased. He's staring at the screen. She's lecturing him about resting, but he's barely listening. He reveals he's getting help from a reliable guy, and Yu is side-eyeing him hard. What's going on? Suddenly, the other survivors are questioning if this isn't actually Young-Yak-Yu. Things are getting weird. Yu straight up denies being Young-Yak-Yu, and Dokja is shocked. No way, she's an imposter. The system message confirms it. The current owner of the industrial complex is Duke Young-Yak-Yu. Plot twist. Yu's explaining she's not the original. She's a different person inhabiting the body, and it's a LOT to process. She says she's been watching him, and Dokja is realizing she's been helping him all along, a surprising ally. Yu reveals she's been using the fourth wall skill. She can see and interact with the story like Dokja can. The constellations noticed her power and are totally fascinated, and Dokja is just trying to keep up with everything. Okay, so everyone's still reeling from the Duke reveal, but Dokja's trying to piece things together. He's got a theory. He realizes you gave him the edited version of 3 ways to survive the apocalypse, and it's a total game changer. Dokja starts reading the first edit, wondering why the author even handed it over to him. What's the catch? He scans the text, but honestly, there don't seem to be any major changes, which is super confusing. Suddenly, a system message pops up. Demon Kings are interested in his achievements. Now that's a power move. This dude is getting attention from the highest powers, but he's more annoyed it's taking so long to load. Yu explains she's been watching him, subtly helping him survive. She's been a secret guardian angel all along. She clarifies she's using the fourth wall skill, just like Dokja, so she can see the story's code and manipulate it. The constellations are going wild over Yu's power, but Dokja's still trying to wrap his head around everything. Dokja manages to get through another crisis, and he's feeling okay, but the fact that Yu's been helping makes things complicated. Dokja's eyes are locked on the phone, and he's questioning if this edited version was even in the original story. He's replaying the start of the apocalypse in his head, noticing the first scene is exactly the same. But wait, there's a line about Yu's fourth life, and it reads he doesn't exist in this round. That's new. Dokja gulps, realizing Yu's been subtly rewriting the story to remove Yu Youngyok from it. No way. He reads further, and it confirms Yu thought he wouldn't exist in this round, straight up erasing herself. Yu explains she probably would have reached a different conclusion if she hadn't interfered with the story. Dokja is piecing it all together, and honestly, this is a lot to take in. So Yu's been manipulating events, making sure this version of the story doesn't include her. Bro, that's intense. Okay, so our boy Kim Dokja gets sent a first edit of the story, and he's immediately suspicious. He wonders why the author is sending this to him specifically, and starts thinking this could be a chance to change things. This mysterious book is more than just a story update. It's a warning about the third round failing and Younghaean regressing again. No way. He realizes this edit is basically telling him he's screwed if he doesn't read it, and the stakes are super high. Dokja starts flipping through the book while laid up in bed and notices something's already different. The story is changing. He's reading intently, and things are actually shifting as he goes, which is kinda wild, right? He's really getting into it, liking the new sections, but also noticing a lot of exposition is being thrown at him. Someone's watching him and they are impressed. Dokja is doing way better than they expected, apparently. But it's not all good. Something springs to life, and it's clear things are about to get intense. Dokja's actually making progress, and it looks like he's starting to rewrite the future, which is awesome. Younghaean is speaking more clearly, and it's throwing everyone off. They think the author made some improvements. Dokja realizes this new version of the story is actually happening to Younghaean, and it's like a hidden scenario is unfolding. Younghaean is remembering getting help, but insists he could have survived on his own somehow. Bro. Dokja is starting to wonder if he's reached the true ending of this world. The stakes are getting seriously high. Someone knocks, and it's straight up terrifying because this is where things are really changing. Lee Seolwa and Alien rush in, and Alien's shocked to see Younghaean is even still alive. Dokja is getting questioned about how he's feeling, and they're all confused by the smartphone in his hand. This dude is refusing help, straight up telling them to go away while clutching his phone. He's focused on rewriting the story. Lee Seolwa asks if he's been contacting the constellations, and Dokja just looks stunned. He's been busy. But seriously, this whole situation is wild, and Dokja is determined to change everything, even if it means fighting fate itself. Dokja tells the blondie he can go, but the guy is losing it, demanding to know why Dokja even called him here. This dude is straight up questioning Dokja, and Lee Seolwa calls him out for being oddly dramatic. Lee Seolwa explains they severed the connection between Dokja and the Demon King, but it should be restored by now. However, there's been no response from the Demon King. Things are getting seriously weird. But it was only temporary, and Dokja thinks he knows why. We get a flash of the Demon King, horns and all, glitching out. No way, this looks good. Dokja's convinced he's messed with the timeline, and it's affecting the Demon King directly. Bro. Dokja's stating he thought he'd fixed it, but the connection is still broken, and it's a huge problem. The Demon King is clearly suffering, and Dokja's got this look like he's about to pull off something insane. Dokja realizes the connection isn't just back, it's overloading, and the Demon King is in serious pain. The Demon King is straight up screaming now, clutching his head, and Lee Sealwa is losing it. But things escalate fast. The Demon King's power surges and a massive ruined city appears. The city is collapsing around them and the Demon King bellows, he's here in the real world. We get a glimpse of the Demon King's face and it's terrifying like a glitching nightmare. The Demon King's power keeps growing and the city's destruction intensifies around them. Lee Sealwa is freaking out, demanding to know what Dokja did to cause this chaos. Dokja thinks he messed with the timeline, but it's way worse. The Demon King is breaking free. However, it's not just a city, it's the Demon King's domain, and it's leaking into our world. Someone asks if he is nearby, and Lee Sealwa confirms he's already found Dokja. No way. Mr. Han is looking rough, ranting about Dokja, but the real threat is already closing in. Dokja's confused, he doesn't sense the Demon King at all, which is seriously unsettling. Someone else realizes what that means and they're clearly panicking, like majorly freaking out. Shoot, someone yells, and then this dude, Mr. Han, is straight up snatching at Dokja's wrist. Dokja yells out, asking what Han is doing, but it's a desperate plea because things are about to go south. Mr. Han's grip tightens and you can see the strain on Dokja's arm. This is intense. Han's face is monstrous and Dokja's expression is pure terror, but he's being pulled closer. We get a super close-up of the tearing fabric as Han yanks Dokja, and it's genuinely disturbing. Dokja's completely at Han's mercy now, and bro, this is a really bad situation. The crowd is cheering for Dokja, but something's off. Han Sealwa is holding a creepy doll and looking possessed. Han suddenly declares he is Yumyoyak-yu, and the crowd's energy shifts from hype to confusion real quick. He starts projecting images of other Yumyoyak-yus, claiming to be the real one, and it's totally messing with everyone's heads. The younger version of Yumyoyak-yu appears, grinning and looking way too happy about all this. The constellation, demonic judge of fire, is actually touched by the camaraderie. Apparently, even demons have feelings. Han keeps insisting he's Yumyoyak-yu, and honestly, it's a convincing performance if not for the whole possession thing. But wait, the real Yumyoyak-yu is revealing himself, saying he's been hiding in plain sight all along. This dude straight up says he's been manipulating everything, and it's a huge reveal. No one saw that coming. The crowd is freaking out, realizing they've been played, and the tension is thicker than ever. The newly revealed Yumyoyak-yu is beaming, and it's terrifying. This is a major power play. Okay, so Han's still rocking the Yumyoyak-yu look, but demonic judge of fire is actually blushing. No way. Han declares it's enough. He confirmed the real Yu is alive, and honestly, it's a super shady flex. But the real Yu is straight up floating in blue energy. This dude is definitely pulling the strings, and it's terrifying. Okay, so things are intense. Someone's about to die if this guy doesn't reach the Jilabat industrial complex, and it's a 2-day trip at full speed. This dude straight up impersonated Yumyoyak-yu, a huge mistake, and now it's causing a massive error in the scenario. He's desperately trying to reach out to the prisoner of the Golden Headband constellation for help, and is begging to borrow their Nimbus cloud. The other constellation is asking what the heck he's talking about, but our boy is focused on getting a lifeline right now. He claims impersonating Yumyoyak-yu is going to get him killed, and now he's trying to manipulate the constellation into helping him. But the constellation is not having it, and honestly, we can't blame him. This dude is a mess. No way, he's pulling out handfuls of his own hair from the stress. Talk about a dramatic reaction. Wait a second, the constellation just straight up dips to find a comb. Seriously. He's saying Yumyoyak-yu will die because of him, and now expects the constellation to help. The audacity. However, the constellation is clearly annoyed and pulls out even more hair, proving this is a bad idea. Okay, so the constellation finally agrees to help, and our boy instantly gets 100 coins. Sweet. He's explaining that the new owner of the industrial complex is in danger, and it's serious. But why is this owner in danger? This dude is demanding answers, and honestly same. No way, it's not just any demon king, it's Asmodeus, Yumyoak's biggest enemy from the novel. Apparently Yumyoak died by Asmodeus' hand in the original story, and our boy is freaking out. He's realizing the gravity of the situation, and the stakes are getting higher with every second. The constellation is dragging him, but this dude is still worried about what he can even do. He's saying working himself to death wouldn't even guarantee a full-time job. Bro is relatable. The constellation is looking all smug and confident, and honestly, he needs to be right now. However, the constellation is just standing there, and our boy is realizing this might not work after all. Okay, so the constellation is reading an old file about Yunyuk's failure. It's all about the third round. But there's one major factor they missed, and it's huge. This dude is clearly stressed about it. He's checking his phone, and it's showing a text about how they shouldn't have done something. Oh no. It hits him they shouldn't have made Asmodeus their enemy. Straight up, that's a bad idea. The screen flashes, and suddenly we're seeing lightning and this intense, dark energy. It's getting real. We get a full reveal of Asmodeus, and this dude is the owner of the 32nd Demon Realm. Talk about power. He's got this item called Hermit's Cloak, but honestly, that's not gonna save him from a demon god. Asmodeus is described as the god of wrath and lust. Yikes, that's a terrifying combo. And honestly, look at that face. Asmodeus is straight up enjoying this, and it's creepy as heck. Our boy realizes they messed up big time, and now they've awakened a serious threat. Asmodeus casually drops a bomb. He remembers meeting our boy through the underling back at the Siswitz industrial complex. Apparently, he saw our boy at the same time as all that chaos, and he's not forgetting it, no way. But it gets worse. Asmodeus didn't just come to Gylabat quickly. He took over the position of Demon King of Salvation. Asmodeus straight up announces he's the Demon King of Salvation, and honestly, the title is terrifying. Someone is questioning if Asmodeus's incarnation is complete, and it's a valid concern. Now someone's asking if they even have a chance of winning, and bro, the mood is bleak. Someone else is seriously considering running, and honestly, who isn't right now? Asmodeus scoffs, saying there's no shaking off a demon king who's decided to manifest physically, and that's rough. He's confident, almost too confident, and it's clear he's not worried at all. Power radiating off of him is insane, and our boy is seriously outmatched. This isn't looking good. Our boy is buying time, hoping Asmodeus wastes all his probability. It's a risky plan, but he's going with it. Someone demands to know who Asmodeus is, but it's kinda obvious, right? Demon King of Salvation. Asmodeus is confused. He says he doesn't recognize this person, and that's strange. She questions if he always looked this handsome, but then drops a bomb. She doesn't think this is his real face. She claims she remembers his face differently from the last time they met, and things are getting seriously weird. She's talking about the past, but Asmodeus insists he's never spoken to her before, and it's a total standoff. She snaps her fingers, and suddenly a flood of purple energy is rushing toward our boy. No time to react. Then a tiny blonde figure appears inside the energy blast, completely shielding our boy. Asmodeus is shocked. He didn't expect that, and neither did we, honestly. Who is this mysterious protector, and what does this mean for our boy's chances of survival? Asmodeus slams into the mysterious blonde, sending her crashing down, but she takes the full force of the attack. Our boy realizes this was exactly what he predicted, and honestly, it's a huge relief. She's clearly exhausted, but she calmly states she knew this would happen all along. Okay, so this dude Jumu is straight up laying down the law. He tells the little girl he wouldn't have let her get into this mess in the first place. But things get real tense real quick as he destroys some kind of protective barrier with a single gesture. Shatter everywhere. No way, the girl's freaking out, covered in blood, and Jumu accuses her of being afraid of him. Talk about a power move. He's got some serious issues, honestly. He calls her adorable, then threatens to stop talking to her if she's disobedient. Then this dude just casually starts reaching for his gun while the girl stares up at him, completely frozen. She tries to run, but he's faster, and she's about to get stomped on. This is getting dark, y'all. We get a close-up of her terrified face, realizing the gravity of the situation. She's truly helpless here. And then he's coming down with a fury, his coat billowing like he's a villain in a movie. He's about to crush her, and it's brutal. The force of it is intense and terrifying. The girl's getting completely flattened, and it's a lot. This scene is messed up. Okay, so he's stomping on the girl, and it's absolutely brutal. The ground cracks under his foot. But wait, she's not dead. She's barely hanging on, covered in blood, and this dude is just glaring at her. He's ranting about how she's weak and pathetic, and honestly, it's a lot to take in. The girl tries to speak, but he cuts her off, just dragging her around by the hair, so messed up. He's spiraling, straight up losing it, demanding to know why she's so afraid of him. She manages to gasp out a name, Lee Sealhua, but he doesn't seem to recognize it. He's getting angrier, and this dark energy is swirling around them both. It's super ominous. Suddenly, he throws her across the room, and she slams into a wall with a sickening thud. But she's still alive, and she's trying to get up, even though she's clearly broken and bleeding. He's looming over her again, and it's terrifying. This dude is completely unhinged right now. He's spitting blood and absolutely furious, ranting about Dokja Kim's stories being the best. What a mood. He's remembering Persephone claiming Dokja's stories were amazing, and he's determined to prove her wrong. But then he collapses, surrounded by that weird purple energy. It's like his power is failing him. He apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, Dokja," and it's hitting different because we know why. He thinks this is the end, and he's just falling into darkness, accepting his fate. He's upside down in the void, completely defeated, and honestly, it's heartbreaking. He whispers it's the end of the road for him, but it's super quiet and somber. You get a shot of just bubbles floating in the darkness, and it's so unsettling. Then he says that's why, and it's like a huge reveal is coming. No way he's remembering the story, understanding it all. This is huge. He realizes the story isn't about power, but about connections, the things he severed to become strong. He's remembering all the people he abandoned, and it's hitting him hard, like really hard. But then the ground starts shaking, and it's not just a tremor, the whole place is collapsing. A massive chunk of debris falls right towards him, and honestly, this dude is about to get squashed. No way. She throws herself in front of him, shielding him with her body, risking everything. She's getting crushed, but she's still conscious, looking up at him with this a complicated expression. He's shocked here, and we finally understand why she was so important to the story. She's confessing she's the constellation, the demon king of salvation, and she's been watching him all along. He's staring at her, stunned, while everything around them crumbles. This is a total plot twist. She's looking directly at the demon god of wrath and lust, and straight up, the tension is insane. She's telling him not to mess with her incarnation, whatever that is, and the power around them is going wild. Someone, a shadowy figure, is looming over her, and it's clear they are about to do something terrible. No way. They stab him right in the chest. It's a total ambush, and he's reeling in pain. Everyone's losing it. The red-haired woman is screaming, and another guy is desperately trying to help him. A blonde guy is staring down at him, looking super creepy, while doctors rush to save our boy. The heart monitor is beeping frantically, and it's a straight-up disaster. His vitals are crashing. The red-haired woman demands they bring all the story packs, whatever those are, and hurry up. They're shoving a mask on his face, trying to get air into his lungs, but the beeping just gets faster and faster. Someone's saying he must have been thinking something crazy, but honestly, he's just trying to survive. This is insane. Someone is holding a scalpel, and it looks like they're about to make a desperate last-ditch effort. He's declaring his name, Asmodeus, and the power radiating off him is insane, cracking the floor. He's chilling on a medical bed, legs dangling like he owns the place, and asks if they got it. Our boy is completely vulnerable, feet exposed, but he's radiating this dangerous confidence. Suddenly, a woman screams, "Don't." She's trying to reach him, but it looks too late. He's moving so fast, a shadowy blur, and she's barely able to touch his coat before he's gone. The fabric of her dress is ripping where she grabbed him, and some kind of dark energy is sparking. This dude's face is getting creepier by the second. A wild, predatory grin spreads across it. His eyes are glowing, and he's straight up losing it, but it's all part of his plan, right? However, something's definitely wrong. The energy is overwhelming, and she's clearly terrified. This dude, Uriel, is straight up questioning Kim Dokja about what he's babbling about. Uriel thinks this new incarnation, Lee Sejun, is the one Dokja's been hanging around, and he remembers Dokja liked Sejun when he was younger. Sejun's giving off a creepy smile, and honestly, it's unsettling, especially with those eyes. We get a flashback to a younger Sejun, looking all innocent in a fancy dress, a total contrast to now. Uriel insists Dokja is getting false rumors about him, but he's clearly flustered, blood even dripping from his lip. Uriel's claiming Sejun's current form is beautiful enough to change his taste. No way is that a normal thing to say. Dokja's basically saying these incarnations won't survive, and it's a super ominous statement. We see a quick scene of Dokja coughing, surrounded by bodies. Things are getting messy. Uriel's looking all intense, and it's clear he's not messing around. Uriel asks Dokja if he's heard about the Demon King selection, and Dokja straight up reveals he's already a Demon King. Dokja explains he's the 32nd Demon King, so trying to get him to compete for a lower realm's throne is pointless. Uriel asks what Dokja wants, and honestly, the tension is building like crazy right now. Suddenly, a dark energy explodes, and Dokja declares he wants to help someone become the next Demon King. Dokja's body starts shifting, wings sprout, and he's radiating power. This dude is transforming. He extends his hand, a strange light emanating from his palm, and it's super creepy but also kinda awesome. Dokja's clearly offering a deal, and it's a big one, helping someone ascend to Demon Kinghood. Uriel's shocked, but Dokja's power is overwhelming, and it's clear he's in control of the situation. We see another flashback to Sejun as a kid, looking all innocent, but it's a sharp contrast to his current form. Dokja's basically saying he's choosing Sejun as his pawn, and bro, this is a power move. Uriel's skeptical, claiming Dokja's luck has run out, but Dokja's not worried at all. Dokja asks if Duke Melian and Birkin would agree with Uriel, straight up calling them out. He reveals he's stuck with those two dukes, the Nebulae, and they definitely disagree with Uriel. Dokja offers his help but warns whoever takes it will die if they refuse. No way. He embraces a terrified figure, and it's clear this deal is intense to say the least. Dokja explains most constellations shun demon kings, so this is a big deal. He declares the choice he makes now will determine how the story unfolds, and the pressure is on. A system notification pops up. Constellations are watching Dokja decide, and that's kinda creepy. We learn the constellation, Prisoner of the Golden Headband, and even one who likes gender bending are all observing. Dokja's face is close, a drop of blood at his lip, and he asks if their goal is a colossal story. Dokja reveals he already knows everything, and the stories he's collected so far, ordinary, but get this, there's a new tier. He calls them colossal stories like the Gigantomachia or Ragnarok, and says they hold immense power. A tiny piece of a colossal story can make someone incredibly powerful and influential, and constellations notice when these stories ignite. Constellations literally descend with blazing eyes whenever a huge, destructive scenario begins. It's total chaos. Dokja explains the Demon King selection is one of those colossal stories, though not quite on the level of Olympus War. He's straight up saying he needs a share of this story, and according to the novel, this is a crucial moment. Dokja declares he needs a piece of this, and it's all building up to something huge. We're on the edge of our seats. And honestly, this dude is playing 4D chess while everyone else is still learning the rules. Dokja's plan is unfolding, and he's ready to rewrite the narrative. This is insane. We see a glimpse of a fiery battlefield with dragons and knights, hinting at the scale of the story Dokja's after. Dokja's reading a file on his tablet, and it's about how they shouldn't have made Asmodeus an enemy. Smart move, recognizing past mistakes. He lays down a condition. He won't antagonize Asmodeus, but he needs a piece of the Demon King story. A mysterious woman demands 30% of the story, thinking she's getting one over on our buy. Dokja calls her out immediately. 30% isn't enough, and she's not even the only one he's making a deal with. She ups the offer to 50%, and honestly, she's starting to look a little desperate. Dokja wants a written contract, which is a power move if I've ever seen one. This dude is meticulous. The woman thinks it's daylight robbery, but Dokja is unbothered, straight up refusing to budge. She asks why not, and Dokja drops a bomb. He's planning to make deals with other entities as well. Dokja's basically saying he's playing the long game, and this woman is just one piece of the puzzle. However, the woman is not happy about being a pawn, and her expression is absolutely chilling. Dokja reveals he's already brokered deals with others for competitive shares of the Demon King's story. No way. The woman offers a full 50%, but Dokja isn't impressed and straight up demands a written contract. She's furious she's being played, but Dokja just smirks and flashes a peace sign. This dude is ice cold. Okay, so things are intense. This dude, Asmodeus, is straight up releasing some seriously dark energy. He's got this twisted grin and looks like he's about to unleash something awful. No way. The dark energy explodes outward with a swish, and it's clearly aimed at someone. Things are escalating fast. A woman, she's got a seriously intense look, says you're just my style, which is concerning to say the least. A notification pops up. The Demon King favors her in a twisted way. What is happening? Asmodeus declares he's leaving today, but honestly, we all know there's a catch. However, he says he needs to clean up some trash first, which is never a good sign ever. She gives this creepy little smile, and you just know she's part of whatever mess is brewing. Asmodeus is unleashing a ton of power, and it's all focused on her. This is a power move, bro. She's taking it all in, and it's clear this isn't a rescue mission. She's loving this twisted game. Asmodeus is blasting this woman with power, and she's straight up enjoying it, soaking it all in. The energy surges, and it's clear this isn't just a power-up. It's changing her, twisting her. But wait, the energy isn't just flowing into her, it's spreading outwards, affecting everything around them. Our boy is getting wrecked by the backlash, collapsing and yelling in pain. This is bad, really bad. He's struggling to get up, but the energy keeps hitting him, and the scene is total chaos. However, he manages to look up and sees the woman, and she's completely transformed, radiating dark energy. The building behind them is cracking and falling apart as the power intensifies. This is beyond anything we've seen. People are getting tossed around like rag dolls, and honestly, they're getting obliterated by the sheer force. This dude is trying to hold on, but it's no use. He's getting pulverized, and it's brutal. He's bleeding, barely conscious, and Asmodeus is just watching, smirking. What a monster. He's desperately shaking Uriel, trying to wake him up, but nothing's working. It's super intense. Suddenly, a system message pops up. He's left the main scenario, and things immediately start falling apart. Cracks are spreading across everything, and this dude is getting hit with a ton of energy. It's chaotic. System announces the exile penalty has begun, and straight up says Yoongyuk is going to die. No way. He's getting absolutely wrecked by purple energy, and it's clear there's nothing protecting him. This is awful. But wait, someone realizes Yoongyuk doesn't have the fourth wall, meaning he's completely vulnerable. He cries out for help, but it's too late. The energy is overwhelming him, and everything's going dark. He's falling, completely consumed by the energy, and honestly, it looks like the end for our boy. However, he manages to gasp out a desperate plea for someone, anyone, before everything goes black. He's completely engulfed, and it's looking grim. This dude is in serious trouble, and we're left on a cliffhanger. He asks if this is really it, and Uriel's hand starts to disintegrate. It's heartbreaking, bro. But our boy refuses to let it happen, and his own body starts cracking with the same energy. He's weeping, completely devastated, and a single tear rolls down his face. This is rough. Focus on his eye, and you can see a brilliant blue light. Something's changing inside him, maybe. Everything goes dark, and chaotic text fills the screen. It's like his mind is overloaded. He's screaming, trying to find something, anything, amidst the chaos. It's desperate. He declares he needs to find a way to save Yoongyuk, and the energy around him intensifies. He shouts he won't let Yoongyuk die. This dude is channeling some serious willpower. He's determined to save Yoongyuk, and honestly, that's the energy we needed right now. He's convinced the answer to saving Yoongyuk is locked away inside TWSA. No way. He's cracking under the strain, tears streaming down his face and straight up bleeding from the mouth. He declares he might not have what it takes, but he's going to try anyway. That's our boy. He collapses, engulfed in a blinding energy, and it looks like he's shattering into a million pieces. However, he grits his teeth and pushes through the pain, determined to reach Yoongyuk. He's practically disintegrating, but he's still fighting, clutching at something in his hand. The scene shifts to a star-filled sky. It's a total mind trip and honestly super dramatic. He's completely consumed by energy, floating amidst the cosmos, and it's a powerful image. He's yelling, but it's fragmented, like his mind is breaking apart, but he's still pushing forward. Everything fades to black, leaving us with the vastness of space. Talk about a cliffhanger. He's falling, spiraling down into darkness, and suddenly remembers something similar happening at a constellation banquet. He's desperately trying to grasp at a solution, but his omniscient reader skill just deactivates. No way. Everything goes black, complete and utter darkness, and we're left wondering what the heck is going on. He's questioning what's happening, recalling the constellation banquet, and straight up refusing to accept it. A massive, icy face looms over him, and it's clear this dude is not happy. This is getting scary. The face declares something can't be changed, but our boy isn't backing down. He's ready to fight. The icy face insists things will be changed, and honestly, the energy here is off the charts. He's determined to alter fate itself, even if it means breaking everything. This dude is a force of nature. Okay, so things are insane right now. Young-hyuk is staring at a broken scene, asking if someone just died. It looks like Young-hyuk's friend or someone close to him got absolutely wrecked in a massive explosion. No way, this dude is literally shattered, surrounded by blood and debris. It's brutal. Young-hyuk is losing it, clutching his phone and clearly devastated, tears streaming down his face. He checks his phone, hoping for a sign, and gets a message saying the current scenario is on standby. Thinking it through, Young-hyuk realizes his friend should have gotten an exile penalty, but didn't. Something's off. That's when it hits him. His friend now has a chance to be a Demon King candidate, which is huge. But one thing worries Young-hyuk. This newfound power comes with a massive catch he's trying to figure out. He's clenching his fist, obviously stressed, because something isn't adding up at all with this scenario. Young-hyuk is realizing this whole situation is messed up, and he's definitely got a bad feeling about it. Young-hyuk scrolls through a list of scenarios, and seriously, the ninth one is just question marks, sketchy. He's worried about the exile penalty, thinking it might already be in motion, and honestly, that's a legit fear. He finds himself in a wrecked room, and a woman with red hair asks if he's okay. He's clearly not. This dude's beat up, barely able to speak, and just asks for water, a simple request after all that. But Young-hyuk is laser focused, needing to confirm if his friend Young-hyuk is even still alive right now. He tries to sit up, clutching something in his hand, but everything is a struggle, bro. He's wrecked. He manages to croak out a single word, "Bu," and asks if anyone can hear him. It's heartbreaking. Silence, total silence. The room is just empty and still, super unsettling, honestly. Then Young-hyuk wonders if something else happened to his friend while he was off doing all this. A good question. He looks absolutely wrecked, face pale and drawn. This is a mess, and we need answers ASAP. Young-hyuk's gasping for air, totally exhausted, and muttering who and he like he just ran a marathon. He's apologizing to someone, Bu, who's completely out of it and bleeding. This is rough, man. He tries to get up and check on her, but he's so drained he can barely move. It's heartbreaking. He's stuck in bed, realizing he can't force Bu to work when she's already completely wiped out. But then bam, a notification pops up telling him his Omniscient reader's Viewpoint skill is activated. He's freaking out because all he can do now is read the novel again. Seriously, what a twist. He clutches the book, trying to pull himself together, remembering he survived this long thanks to it. Book's glowing with this weird energy, and our boy is starting to get a glimmer of hope, maybe. He's looking at the book, determined, while a strange blue screen flashes. Something's definitely up. He's staring at the book, and it's like the novel is giving him strength. This dude is a fighter, no doubt. He's thrown into the 18th round, straight up exhausted and muttering about wanting to quit. Can you blame him? He pushes through to the 21st round but keeps messing up, yelling "darn it" over and over. This is brutal. Suddenly, he's facing a terrifying monster with a glowing eye, and it's clear this isn't just another fight. He stares at a massive, creepy creature, realizing this is a whole new level of threat. No way, this is good. He sees someone lying wounded on the ground, and it hits him. People are dying in these rounds, and he's powerless to stop it. He reaches out, desperate, but it's like he's watching everything through a nightmare. This is a seriously dark turn. He's fixated on a single glowing eye and asked himself how many times this is going to happen. It's a haunting question. He's looking out over this desolate landscape, seeing the aftermath of the battle, and it's just grim. But then a black screen, and honestly, it feels like the story is resetting and we're about to see something huge. Okay, so our boy wakes up totally confused and remembers reading all 149 chapters. What even is happening? He thinks he's just had a weird dream, but then he checks the novel app and it's still going. This is getting intense. He decides to just peek at the ending for Young-hyuk, the character he's been rooting for, promising himself it's just a quick check. But of course, he starts scrolling, needing to know everything that happened to Young-hyuk. This dude has no self-control. He's desperately trying to find out if Young-hyuk got a happy ending in the first edit, and it's stressing him out. Then he sees the author is still working on an epilogue. No way, it's like the story is actively changing. The app starts loading and it's glitching like crazy. This isn't a normal update. Something is seriously wrong. The screen finally loads, showing the text, and it's a message saying the epilogue is currently working on it. Sorry, so frustrating. He's staring at the screen, a huge, mischievous grin spreading across his face. Okay, what's he planning? And honestly, this is a total power move. He's figured something out, and it's about to get wild. Okay, so a ghostly figure is laughing like a full-on maniacal cackle, and it's clearly taunting her by. Suddenly, this thing moves with impossible speed straight toward him, and he's scrambling back in terror. He drops his phone trying to escape, but it's no use. The ghost is right on top of him, and honestly, it's terrifying. Okay, so our boy Dokja is chilling in bed, looking rough after, well, a lot. But he's alive, which is a miracle. Someone brings him coffee, but this dude, the priest, I think straight up knocks it out of his hand. Rude. The priest immediately grabs Dokja, gripping his arm tight, and Dokja looks genuinely terrified of this sudden attack. Dokja tries to push him off, but the priest is way stronger, and it's a struggle no way. 2 days ago, the priest finds Dokja basically wrecked and asks how he even survived the last ordeal. It was a close call. Dokja says he got some help, being all mysterious, but the priest isn't buying it for a second. The priest stares him down, clearly suspecting something, and Dokja just looks back with this intense gaze. Dokja reveals he got help through someone, a pretty big hint that someone else is pulling strings here. The priest is still skeptical, but something shifts in his expression, like he's starting to piece things together. But honestly, this whole situation is screaming hidden agenda, and I have a bad feeling about where this is going. Dokja claims a constellation helped him, but the priest doesn't believe a word and demands to know what he paid them. The priest is about to vanish, and Dokja's face is a mix of shock and something else. Is that a smirk? We get a super close-up of Dokja, and honestly, he looks way too calm for someone about to be abandoned. Another close-up and Dokja's smile widens. He's definitely playing a game here, and I'm here for it. Priest actually disappears, leaving Dokja alone in the room, and he's just relieved. What is going on? Dokja leans back, looking surprisingly relaxed, and says it all worked out somehow, but I don't trust that at all. He's sitting on a medical table, looking all brooding, and the priest is standing there staring. It's super awkward. Dokja admits he's never really had a proper conversation with the priest, and it's just sad, honestly. Another close-up of the priest and that look in his eyes. He knows something's up, and he's not happy about it. The priest is giving Dokja a seriously intense stare. This dude is about to unleash a world of hurt. I can feel it. Okay, so apparently Huiwen and Jai-Hai are training new incarnations, basically leveling up future doomsday fighters. The priest is getting info from someone, and it sounds like the kids are doing surprisingly well, even tossing coins around when bored. But wait, the priest is looking at Dokja, and this dude is straight up messing with him, pulling at the Roman 4 drip. Dokja's got this creepy smile, and honestly, it's unsettling, like he's planned everything. The priest is definitely onto Dokja now, his eyes narrowed. This is about to get intense. Dokja claims it all worked out, but the priest isn't buying it for a second, and neither am I. Saying the kids are fine, but the priest's expression is saying yeah, right, and honestly, same. The priest's getting a really intense vibe. He's realizing Dokja knew exactly what was going to happen. Dokja's all smug, like he's been playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. No way. A flashback shows the army and all these people surrounding someone. It's clearly important. Dokja's laying it all out. Everyone's been talking about him, and it's messing with his head, but he's trying to play it cool. He clenches his jaw, admitting it's natural to be bothered, but honestly, the priest is pushing him. He doubles down, saying everything is going according to plan. This dude is seriously confident. The priest isn't buying it though, and straight up calls Dokja out on his lies. Tension is so high. Dokja's got this unnerving smile, and he's staring right into the priest like he's seeing everything. Flashback time, we see a huge army and someone is the center of attention. It's gotta be important. Back in the present, the priest is realizing Dokja knew about all this, and our boy is just enjoying it. The priest is leaving Dokja alone, and Dokja is muttering Dokja to himself. This is getting creepy. He's looking up at the Star Stream building, and it's all lit up. It's a serious power move. Someone yells for Huiwen, and we see a glimpse of her. Looks like things are about to go down. Dokja's found the scenario whack-a-mole and is straight up annoyed it's so easy. He's questioning what went wrong, muttering about why things turned out this way, like it's a personal failure. Turns out whack-a-mole is one of the easier scenarios for the Korean Peninsula's incarnations, seriously. But then it hits him, he realizes he should have saved Dokja Kim back then, and it's a huge regret. Dokja decides he needs to make things harder, worried if it stays this easy, everyone will die. Constellations of the Korean Peninsula are cheering for Dokja's allies and even donating 2,000 coins. However, some constellations are leaving the channel. That's not great, is it? Dokja's thinking he needs to attempt some sort of change, and we see the sign for Bion's branch manager office. The channel has been maintained thanks to Dokja's core subscribers, which is kinda sweet, honestly. Dokja's realizing things are still going according to his plan, but bro is definitely carrying a lot of weight. Dokja's heading straight for Bion's office, determined to talk some sense into the guy. It's a risky move. Okay, so Joohyun just dropped a bomb. He wasn't just suggesting Earth, he was planning to send Kim Dokja there. Dokja is straight up losing it, realizing Joohyun wants to ditch him on Earth and become the Demon King himself. Savage. Joohyun is playing it cool, sipping his drink like nothing's wrong, but Dokja is not buying it for a second. Dokja explodes, grabbing Joohyun and demanding answers. This dude is not holding back, and honestly, good for him. We get a close-up of Joohyun's fancy belt buckle, which is shaped like a cobra, super ominous, right? Suddenly, someone or something is here, and Joohyun warns Dokja that she has arrived. Dokja's focused on Joohyun, but a shadowy figure is creeping up behind them, clutching some kind of weird tech. A mysterious object is flung through the air, and it's heading straight for Dokja, but someone's trying to intercept it. Everything's a blur of motion as someone dives to protect Dokja, but it's a chaotic scramble. The object glints as it flies through the air. It's all happening so fast, and we're left on a total cliffhanger. A blinding flash erupts, and the room is flooded with energy. It's like a supernova just went off. Everything's crackling with power, and the air itself seems to vibrate. It's intense, bro. Dokja is thrown backward, but someone catches him. It's that guy in the apron, surprisingly strong. Dokja's reeling, trying to figure out what just happened, but the apron guy is clearly panicked. He demands to know what's going on, and the apron guy's like, I don't know, seriously. Suddenly, a colossal figure appears, towering over everything. No way, it's huge and terrifying. This monster grabs at the building, and it's starting to crumble. Dokja and the others are in serious danger. Dokja tries to get up, but he's clearly injured. This dude is pushing himself way too hard. The monster's hand closes around a section of the building, and it's getting crushed. It's a disaster. However, the monster isn't just destroying things, it's looking directly at Dokja, and that's not good. Okay, so this massive figure, it's straight up radiating power, and lightning's crackling all around her. She's grabbing someone, pulling them forward, but it's not a rescue. She's using them as a shield. People are screaming, running for their lives, but it's chaos and nobody knows what's going on. Dokja and another guy are staring at her, and they realize this isn't just any power. It's a constellation from Papyrus. But wait, there's more. Papyrus is working with the Birken Industrial Complex, which is not good at all. Dokja's like, who's the new ruler of this industrial complex? And honestly, the tension is killing me. The figure is revealed, and if she's the last pharaoh, Dokja immediately knows who they're dealing with. It's Cleopatra, and no way, this is wild. Our boy Dokja knows exactly what's happening. Cleopatra's here, and she's a force. She's got that ancient power, and she's ready to take charge. She's flexing her authority, and the whole place is responding, bro. This just got seriously intense. Okay, so this massive armored figure is demanding to know which one of them is Yoongyok, and things are getting tense. Someone challenges Yoongyok, asking if he thinks he can beat Cleopatra, but honestly, that's a dumb question. Cleopatra cuts them off, saying it's almost time, and it sounds like something big is about to go down. Dokja asks about the penalty she mentioned earlier, the one where you disappear for 10 minutes a day, and it's seriously creepy. Another guy asks what they're going to do about her, but someone else confidently says she can't do anything, which feels off. He's like, why not? And it's clear he's not buying it, and honestly, neither am I. A woman with glasses is explaining that Asmodeus attacked Dokja, and that most beings can't act like Asmodeus does. Dokja realizes Cleopatra is part of Papyrus, and if she borrows probability from the nebula, chaos will reign. He's saying she's forgotten what she did, but honestly, this is a huge reveal, and things are spiraling. The armored figure booms tell the new ruler, and seriously, the power radiating off this guy is insane. The armored figure lays down the law. If Yoonhyuk enters the Demon King selection, he's a goner, straight up. Dokja's remembering Papyrus, and it's hitting hard. Clearly something awful happened to him. Cleopatra doesn't mess around. She's declaring she won't issue another warning, and the tension is unreal. We see the city, and it's seriously wrecked, but people are still walking around trying to survive. Someone asks if she's really just leaving, and honestly, the shock on this guy's face is priceless. The guy in black is looking away, all stoic, but you can tell he's affected by this too. And then this dude just explodes with disbelief. She's seriously walking out like it's nothing. We get a close-up of the black-clad man, and you can see the strain in his shoulders. He's holding it together. Cleopatra is just gone, leaving everyone stunned, and honestly, this is a power move. The armored figure is still radiating power, and it's clear this isn't over, not by a long shot. Okay, so everyone's reeling from Cleopatra's exit, but the guy in black is dropping bombs. They've gained time before the Demon King selection. He explains they poured a huge amount of probability into forcing a destiny onto someone, and now that probability is gone. This dude is realizing something massive. Oh, no way he remembers. We get a close-up of his face, and he's clearly connecting the dots, a little smile creeping onto his lips. The Demon King selection is being prepared, and the timer starts ticking. 28 days, 17 hours, 12 minutes, no pressure. Someone points out they won't be enough with just 2 people, and honestly, that's an understatement. They're asking if there's any backup, and you can feel the desperation building. Things are getting real. The armored figure is still looming, and it's clear he's heard everything. This is a power play. He's radiating power, and the whole scene is tense, bro. This is where the real game begins. But wait, the city is still wrecked, and people are wandering around. It's a messed up situation, and the stakes are so high. This dude straight up spits on the ground, and it's a declaration, bro. He's ready to fight. He's announcing he'll be the one to end everything, and honestly, the confidence is kinda scary. Okay, so things are intense. These guys are spotting the Punisher, and they're straight up freaked out. But hold up, it's not just a Punisher, it's the Punisher, a seriously powerful being from a past scenario. And wow, she's gorgeous but terrifying, with long black hair and a chilling gaze. This is not someone you want to mess with. She's moving fast like a blur, and honestly, her outfit is giving major villain vibes. Our boy, the main character, is staring at her with a mix of shock and recognition. He's seen someone like this before. He's trying to figure out where he knows her from, thinking back to past scenarios, TWSA, a previous world they battled in. Everyone's asking who she is, and the tension is building. It's like the whole world just stopped to stare at her. She leaps into action, her cape billowing dramatically, and the movement is just epic. Seriously, the artist nailed this. She lands with a tap of her heel, and you can just feel the power radiating off of her. This isn't a fight you want to be in the middle of. Bro, this is bad. The Punisher is here, and our boy knows she's a major threat. Something big is about to go down. Okay, so the blonde dude is freaking out, and the lizard guy is blushing hard at the Punisher. No way. This dude is telling another guy she's useful, and apparently she vanished after he tried talking to her yesterday. He points out she moves with a speed only transcendent beings possess. This is getting serious fast. Blonde guy is shocked, but the Punisher is already a blur, slicing through the air with her sword. She cuts down multiple opponents in a single strike, and honestly, it's terrifyingly efficient. Our boy realizes she'd be a huge asset in the Demon King selection, and he's starting to piece things together. She casually walks past them, and the blonde guy shouts, "Excuse me." She's completely ignoring them. This dude is completely baffled, asking what's going on, and the speed of her movement is insane. She's moving so fast it's like she's teleporting, and our boy is desperately trying to understand her abilities. He's remembering TWSA, realizing she's not just powerful but familiar from a past, devastating scenario. Okay, so this mysterious figure with the wild hair is straight up menacing, and he's got a serious glare. He grabs this other guy by the collar, and it's clear this dude is not happy about it. Things are escalating fast. Everyone's scrambling, trying to get away, but the hair guy is moving like a phantom. Suddenly, a blue screen pops up with a notification about a constellation, Prisoner of the Dark Headband, which is weird. The screen is going crazy with warnings about constellations being agitated. Something big is happening with these powers. Our boy is totally confused, asking, what, as the blue screen throws more info at him. He's starting to realize this is about Uriel and remembers a devastating event from the original web novel. It's been a week since the incident with Asmodeus, and our boy is connecting the dots. This is a flashback setup. The blue screen announces that demonic Judge Uriel has entered the channel. No way, this is getting intense. So Uriel is here, and honestly, our boy is already bracing for impact because this is where things really go south. Constellations are losing it, questioning how this situation even happened, but no one has answers. This dude with the blonde hair is losing his mind. He just lost sight of Uriel, and he's obsessed with her. He's rambling about how pretty she is, and our boy is just done, clearly not understanding the hype. Everyone's buzzing, wondering if Uriel will show up tomorrow, but they all agree she's super elusive. The blonde guy is getting way too close to our boy, and honestly, it's creepy personal space much. Our boy finally snaps, realizing Uriel's reappearance is connected to a past tragedy in the novel. He remembers the nebula Asgard and the constellations pointing wildly. Something terrible is about to unfold. Our boy is staring intensely at Uriel, and his eyes are glowing like he's accessing some hidden power. He's bracing himself because he knows exactly what Uriel is capable of, and it's not good, bro. It's been a while since the Asmodeus incident, but our boy is putting it all together. This is a flashback. Okay, so Uriel's symbolic incarnation, basically a doll of herself, is completely broken, and this woman is meticulously fixing it. She's stitching and repairing, and our boy realizes Uriel can re-enter the story through this doll once it's done. Then bam, the demonic Judge of Fire is straight up crying, overwhelmed with emotion at seeing her avatar restored. Suddenly, Uriel starts sending messages to our boy, messages she couldn't send before, like a flood of information. Our boy is shocked because it was dangerous for a high-ranking constellation like Uriel to even be in the demon realm. But it turns out there's a ceasefire between Nebula Eden and the 72nd Demon King's realm. That's how she got here. The scene shifts to a massive battle, angels clashing with dark forces, and it's intense. Uriel's there, fighting alongside other angels, and it's clear this isn't just a random skirmish. She's taking on a monstrous foe, and honestly, this fight is huge, with crazy energy blasts everywhere. Uriel's leading the charge, but she's clearly exhausted, and it's all connected to the ceasefire and something bigger. Someone's asking our boy how he gets along with constellations, like, how does he know them? No way, this dude straight up says he is a constellation himself. Talk about a power move. Uriel is running with two others, and our boy is explaining everything to them, revealing his secret. Okay, so our boy is grinning like he's about to pull off the ultimate scheme, and honestly, he kinda is. He's decided he's visiting the first Wuxia world, a place overflowing with super powerful beings, and it's a bold move. The landscape he's heading to is insane, floating islands, massive waterfalls. It's straight up breathtaking but dangerous. He's thinking about asking the sky-breaking sword master for help, because apparently that's where the strongest transcendents hang out. But bro is looking stressed, clutching a cup. Seems like even he's feeling the weight of this decision. He's trying to play it cool, but his face says otherwise. This dude is clearly worried about what he's getting into. However, a single tear rolls down his face as he steels himself. This isn't just a casual visit, there's something else going on. He's focused on this sky-breaking sword master, but the intensity in his eyes is kinda terrifying. What's the plan? And then bam, we get a close-up of the sword master, and this guy is radiating power, but also rage. The sky-breaking sword master is straight up furious, and our boy is walking right into that storm. No way this ends well. Someone asks why he wants her help of all people. Talk about suspicious. He explains she's not tied to right or wrong, and he needs the best transcendent available. But another guy is not having it, straight up yelling no, absolutely not. Our boy doubles down, saying it's natural to want the best, even in the first Wuxia world. Suddenly, a little fluffy creature appears, looking totally confused as energy blasts fly everywhere. He's smirking, looking down at something, and honestly, it's kinda unsettling. A notification pops up, something has arrived, and it's accompanied by a bright blue flash. The notification lands on another character, and he's looking shocked while our boy just keeps grinning. He tells Yumyok to think about it, and it's clear he's got another layer to this plan. He claims they can find plenty of useful people, even if they don't recruit the sky-breaking sword master. Our boy is laying out orders like a boss, telling Mark to keep an eye on the Dokja industrial complex. Smooth move. He's strolling through this ruined city, and it's all very I'm in charge vibes, but something feels off. Suddenly, everyone is questioning where he even got a suitcase, like, when did he have time to pack? He plays it cool, saying it's awkward to be left behind, but we all know this dude has layers. A weird gray-skinned guy with horns is eavesdropping, and honestly, he looks like trouble brewing. This dude claims he's just worried about being alone, but it's a total lie. He's up to something. Our boy is straight up using people, promising them usefulness if they join his team. He's telling Yumyok to think it over, but it's clear he's already got a whole other plan unfolding. He insists they can find plenty of strong allies, even if they don't get the sky-breaking sword master. But here's the kicker, another notification pops up and it lands on someone else while he just smirks. Okay, so Mayango wants to join them, but this dude, Constellation, is all nah, it's his boss who's really interested. Turns out the boss is Asmodeus, the Demon King, and Constellation straight up apologizes to Uriel for potentially messing with him. He thinks maintaining a good relationship with Asmodeus is the best move right now, since they don't know what round 3 holds. But wait, there's a twist. Asmodeus is totally watching them, and he's looking intense. They're leaving the demon realm for the first time, and Uriel is hyped, but our boy looks super serious. Suddenly, a little fluffy creature appears, and it's getting blasted by some kind of energy. No way. This adorable little thing yells out, and it's getting flung through a swirling portal with them. They're all sucked into the portal, and it's a chaotic mess of energy and floating debris. Our boy yells, "Here we go," and honestly, he's embracing the chaos. They're spinning through this crazy blue vortex. It's like a washing machine of doom, but they're heading somewhere new. This dude is getting absolutely wrecked by the portal's energy. He's straight up seeing stars. The energy is swirling, crackling with lightning, and honestly, it looks terrifyingly powerful. Someone else is getting pulled into the vortex, a blonde guy who looks super dizzy and yells about it. They finally land with a thud and a notification pops up. They've arrived at the Blue Dragon Castle. Our boy's looking around, all serious, while the blonde guy is still recovering from the trip. Someone asks where Sky-Breaking Sword Master went, but it's clear everyone is confused. Hold up, apparently the Blue Dragon Castle is one of the 4 greatest fortresses in the Wuxia world. And according to TWSA, this place is the largest castle in the entire Wuxia world. Massive. Our boy is sizing up the castle, and you can tell he's already planning his next move. He's a mastermind. He's definitely keeping his guard up because he knows this place is full of secrets and danger. A little kid is absolutely hyped, clutching some sort of treasure while our boy keeps watch. Inside the castle, things are bustling. People are scribbling on documents and moving around like crazy. Other constellations are straight up longing for this Wuxia world. They're clearly impressed. Our boy's already planning, assessing everything, and it's clear he's thinking 10 steps ahead. Okay, so this old master dude is straight up losing it over something bam, and yelling about what everyone's using now. Turns out everyone means all the young martial artists, and it's not swords or kai, it's cassette tapes. A whole stack of tapes are labeled Heaven, Earth, Spirit, Sword, and Promise. You can learn martial arts by just listening to them. Some other characters walk up, asking what's going on, and this older guy explains it's a new trend. He claims people are becoming masters just by listening to these tapes 1,000 times. No way. He points out everyone's walking around with headphones on since they got here, and the others finally get it. Apparently this whole tape thing was huge in the first Wuxia world, which is a lot to unpack. They're saying you can learn martial arts subconsciously and practice at home just by listening to lectures. Sounds kinda sus. One of the guys starts rifling through the tapes and the old master is not happy, demanding they not touch if they aren't buying. The tapes are expensive, apparently, and this dude is getting protective of his hustle. Honestly, good for him. Okay, so the blonde dude is reading the rave reviews for these tapes. Apparently, they're legit changing lives. But the old master is losing it, yelling that if everyone could get strong from listening, the first Wuxia world wouldn't have been destroyed. He's saying the destruction of that world hasn't happened yet in this round, which is a super ominous detail. The blonde dude's friend is looking at him like what is happening, but our boy knows exactly what's up. Turns out Yoongyok, the guy who's seen this all before, already knows everything that's going to happen, like duh. He sees the future as the past, which is a total mind bender and honestly, kinda scary. The master is now snapping at them, telling them to stop wasting time on this garbage. He insists it can't make anyone stronger but is secretly letting his companions browse, a little hypocritical maybe. The blonde dude asks if they're there as tourists, and the master straight up tells him they are not. The master is clutching a stack of tapes, and it's clear he's not messing around. This is serious business. The master is now ranting about 3 hidden pieces, all located in the first Wuxia world. Talk about a setup. He's munching on some kind of snack while explaining, which is a choice, honestly. Okay, so the first piece is the martial arts manual of the Emperor of Destruction. Sounds ominous, right? Next up is the Dark Demon Spirit's Black Demon Blade, and it looks as terrifying as it sounds. And finally, the Blood Demon Sex Demon Spirit Pellet, a creepy little orb in a fancy box. The box is opening and that pellet is glowing. This is straight up bad news. Someone's getting absolutely wrecked, judging by the massive impact and flying debris. An older man is laughing maniacally, looking down at the aftermath. This dude is a villain for sure. The master is still talking about these pieces, and our boy Yoongyok is piecing it all together. But wait, Yoongyok realizes he's seen this before. He's predicting everything, which is wild. Yoongyok asks if they're really going through with this, and bro, he looks seriously concerned. The master scoffs, saying they'll take them to the training hall, but they're headed for the sky-breaking sword master. The master reveals he's surprised anyone even wants to learn martial arts the old way. Talk about a throwback. The blonde dude demands the master hand over the pellet and straight up grabs for it. Someone is trying to wrestle the pellet away, but a monstrous figure refuses to sell it. This is getting intense. A tug of war breaks out over the glowing pellet, and it looks like things are about to explode. The master casually mentions that the blonde dude's sword was broken, which explains a lot, honestly. But Yoongyok realizes the master knew the sword would break. He's been planning this whole time. He's predicting everything, and it's clear this master isn't what he seems. Something's definitely off. The master laughs, and our boy Yoongyok knows they've walked right into a trap. No way this ends well. Yoongyok demands to know what's going on, and the master straight up reveals he's the only one who remembers the old Wuxia ways. The blonde dude confirms it. This master is the only one still training with those ancient methods, which is kinda wild. Master smirks, saying that's good, and Yoongyok realizes they've been led here on purpose. It's a setup. But wait, Yoongyok is already predicting the master's next move, and honestly, it's scary how much he knows. The master's laughing, and Yoongyok understands. They've walked right into a trap, and it's a total disaster. Suddenly, the title card appears, Omniscient Reader, and it's all dramatic and glowing like something big is about to happen. The words Omniscient Reader break apart and rearrange themselves, revealing the chapter title, Sky-Breaking Sword Master. We get art credits and the episode number 264, chapter 43, but seriously, the suspense is killing us. A beautiful image of a cherry blossom tree appears, a peaceful moment before the storm, but we know it won't last. The master is still smirking, and Yoongyok is bracing for whatever comes next. This is gonna be epic. Okay, so the master's sect, Sky-Breaking Sword Gate, is actively recruiting pupils. Pretty standard, right? But Yoongyok realizes this is a blatant lure, a trap to draw out anyone who knows the old ways. The trio starts moving, leaping across rooftops, and Yoongyok declares this is as far as he's going. He's not falling for it. However, one of the guys is clearly desperate to see the master, ignoring Yoongyok's warnings, which, come on, bro. Yoongyok tries to stop him, but it's too late. The dude is already scrambling up a tree, straight toward the master. The master's got this smug look, and Yoongyok's thinking, oh no, he seriously doesn't want to see his master, huh? And then swoosh, a figure moves so fast it's a blur, and Yoongyok is suddenly on high alert. This dude with the eerie face is questioning why Yoongyok is so hesitant. It's all kinda creepy and unsettling, honestly. Okay, so everyone is losing it because this dog, yes, a dog, is apparently the pupil of the sky-breaking sword master. This pup is dressed to the nines, rocking a little robe and bandages, and looks straight up regal. People are freaking out, asking if masters are just accepting any animal as students now. But one dude isn't having it, questioning if humans are really better than dogs anyway. Honestly, a fair point. We get a super intense close-up of this dude, and you can tell he's about to cook up some chaos. Then boom, the scene flashes back, showing this dog training for what looks like a century. They're theorizing that if this dog kept copying moves for years and years, it could become unbelievably powerful. And the visuals show why. The dog is moving at insane speeds, like a blur of fur and determination. Everyone is completely shocked by the dog's power, wondering what's even happening right now. This dog isn't just a pet, bro, he's a weapon, and honestly, it's kinda terrifying. Demon Earl is all like, "You really gonna do this?" And this dog is not backing down. This dude straight up yeets a massive suitcase at the dog, but our boy dodges like it's nothing. The Earl is furious, yelling about being underestimated, and honestly, he kinda is. The dog unleashes a blast of energy, and the ground explodes. Talk about a power move. He's flying through the air, a black streak of fury, and everyone is completely blown away. The Earl gets absolutely slammed, and you can see the impact ripple through him. The dog's unleashing a flurry of attacks, a whirlwind of claws and speed. It's insane. Another guy tries to intervene, but the dog sends him flying with a single kick. No mercy. Suddenly, a blonde dude swoops in to grab the dog, but our boy is already a step ahead. A notification pops up: Phoenix Walk LV-10 activated. This dog is leveling up mid-fight. The dog activates 100-step Godly Fists LV-10. No way, this fight is escalating fast. The blonde dude and another guy try to shield the Earl, but the dog is a blur of motion. A personal skill, the Way of the Wind, activates, and the dog unleashes a massive smash attack. Force of the attack sends everyone flying. The Earl is getting absolutely wrecked, honestly. The blonde dude is desperately trying to protect the Earl, pleading for the dog to stop, but it's no use. The dog lands a scratch on the Earl, and this dude is covered in wounds. It's brutal. The dog turns toward a recruiter holding up a scroll and is clearly annoyed. A recruitment period. He's muttering about how terrible the timing is, but our boy remembers something crucial. If he recalls correctly, this recruitment period is a trap. This dog is playing 4D chess. The dog's tail is whipping back and forth, and he's ready to exploit this situation. Game on. The master straight up declares he won't accept anyone who can't beat a dog as a student. Talk about high standards. He says it's because of that dog, and then the dog unleashes, cracks forming around its paws, energy exploding everywhere. Everyone's shocked. What's it doing? Is that really a dog? Because this isn't just any pup, apparently. The master recognizes it. That's Transcendence Stage 1. No way, this dog is evolving mid-battle. He realizes how powerful the sky-breaking master is, and honestly, it's a little terrifying. The dog transforms, growing massive and snarling. It's a full-on beast now, bro. The master thinks he could finish it if his body was healed, but he's still recovering from the last fight. Someone yells for Jun-hyuk to help just once, but our boy is ignoring them, the jerk. The master stares at the dog, completely stunned, wondering why Jun-hyuk isn't responding. And the dog, it's just standing there ready to pounce. This is going to be epic. The dog moves and it's blindingly fast, a blur of fur and claws heading straight for Jun-hyuk. Jun-hyuk barely reacts, eyes wide with shock as the dog barrels toward him. It's seriously intense. He manages to raise his sword to defend, but the dog's attack is already connecting. Bam! Everything explodes. Dust and debris fly everywhere, and the master's shocked. He's realizing just how powerful this dog really is. Dog lands perfectly poised, seemingly unfazed by the attack. This thing is a beast, bro. Jun-hyuk's sword is cracked and he's clearly struggling. The dog's power is overwhelming, no doubt. The master studies the dog, recognizing it's not just strength but refined technique. This is a seasoned fighter. He's analyzing the dog's movements, realizing it's been trained by someone incredibly skilled. Whoa. The dog seems to be mocking Jun-hyuk. This dude's just standing there, radiating confidence. It's infuriating. The master stares down Jun-hyuk, demanding an explanation. Why isn't he fighting back? This is getting wild. Jun-hyuk's already sprinting, straight up hauling butt to avoid that dog's next attack. It's a full-on chase. He's moving fast, but the dog is keeping pace, closing the distance with every stride. This is insane. Jun-hyuk swings his sword, a desperate attempt to create some space, but the dog deflects it with ease. No way. The dog goes for a leg sweep and Jun-hyuk barely manages to jump over it, landing hard but staying upright. Phew, close call. He attacks again, a furious flurry of sword strikes, but the dog anticipates everything. It's like it knows what's coming. Then a massive clash of steel and fur. The dog's attack connects, sending Jun-hyuk flying backwards. Ouch. The master realizes Jun-hyuk has mastered the first stage of transcendence, but that's not even the craziest part. He recalls the novel. Jun-hyuk wasn't supposed to be this strong at this point, but things are changing, big time. It clicks, Jun-hyuk actually fought the sky-breaking master in the original story, which means he's got a plan. Jun-hyuk's got this subtle smirk on his face, radiating confidence. He's learned from the best, and he's ready to fight. The scene is a straight-up battlefield. Buildings are on fire, and people are getting wrecked. It's brutal. This dude is looking down at the carnage, but things are clearly going badly for his side. He's breathing heavily, clearly strained, and tells someone they're the ones who have to face the enemy. He calls out the name Jung-hyuk. Sounds like someone important is in trouble, or about to be. Our boy is launching into action, sword raised, ready to protect whoever Jung-hyuk is. But it looks like the attack is coming from everywhere, and he's getting overwhelmed fast. Seriously, the situation is dire, and it feels like our hero is all that stands between everyone and total destruction. Okay, so Minyo Namgung Aka, the sky-breaking sword master, is straight up getting attacked, and it's intense. He's desperately trying to block attacks with his sword, but it's getting chipped and cracked. No way. He's holding on, but you can see the strain on his hands, gripping that sword so tightly. Our boy is surveying the battlefield, realizing the scale of this fight. It's a total mess. He spots someone Jung-hyuk and instantly shifts focus, determined to protect him at all costs. Minyo unleashes a massive sword attack, a swirling vortex of energy, and it's absolutely devastating. The attack obliterates everything in its path, but it's clear there are still enemies closing in. However, he's not just fighting enemies, he's cutting through falling debris and protecting civilians too. He's slicing through attacks left and right, a whirlwind of steel, but he's starting to get surrounded. But even as he fights, he's still taking damage. This dude is seriously pushing himself to the limit. Minyo is noticing someone else moving fast, a blonde guy, and is genuinely impressed by their speed. This dude is holding the blonde guy's chin, and honestly, it looks super painful. The other fighter is quick, dodging a blow, but Minyon's already got him pinned. Minyon straight up admits this blonde is his type. Talk about a mid-battle confession. The blonde tries to escape, but Minyon's grip is too strong, and he's getting tossed around. A massive energy spike erupts, sending the blonde flying. It's a serious power move. But it's not over. There's another fighter down, bleeding out, and Minyon's deciding to finish him. He's poking the downed enemy, seriously, and saying he's going to kill him. No chill. Now he's moving on to the last guy, and this is getting brutal, bro. No mercy. Minyon is absolutely relentless, just straight up dismantling everyone in his path. Minyon is a blur, landing foot after foot, absolutely crushing the ground with each step. This dude is fast. He unleashes a massive blast of power, sending the blonde opponent flying backwards through multiple structures. But Minyon isn't stopping there. He's launching himself into the air, pursuing the blonde relentlessly. An eagle soars alongside Minyon, mirroring his speed and intensity. It's a seriously epic visual. The blonde and another fighter try to retaliate, but Minyon is already on them, a whirlwind of attacks. He's delivering brutal blows, and honestly, the blonde is getting absolutely wrecked. No mercy from our boy. Minyon's movements are so quick, he's practically teleporting, leaving only footprints and afterimages. He's tapping his foot, casually commenting on how fast the blonde is. The confidence is unreal. But it's not just about speed. Minyon is also analyzing his opponents, deciding who deserves a pass. He's grabbing another fighter, promising a reward for good looks. Minyon is a menace, I swear. Okay, so someone apparently told Jung-hyuk that Minyon learned swordsmanship from the sky-breaking sword master. Wild. This dude, the sky-breaking sword master, is trying to recruit Transcendence to fight constellations. Sounds intense. Minyon is straight up uninterested, telling him there's nothing he can do right now. Cold. The sword master is not having it, demanding to know why Minyoung won't help, but our boy is unimpressed. Minyoung drops a truth bomb. He doesn't volunteer his skills for charity cases. Burn. This dude is ruthless. The sword master is shocked, asking if Minyoung really thinks he can't find good candidates. No way. The sword master grabs Minyoung's lapel, getting aggressive, but Minyoung just looks annoyed. He's wriggling away, saying what the sword master is saying piques his interest, but he'll need to hear more later. The sword master is fuming, demanding an explanation, and honestly, he deserves it. Minyoung just casually points out the dog is whining like it's the most important thing. This guy is a menace. The sword master is losing it, grabbing a fighter and tossing him, straight up chucking him at Minyoung. Minyoung effortlessly deflects the guy with a flick of his wrist like it's nothing, but he's clearly annoyed. He explains he needs to teach this guy a lesson first, and the tossed fighter just flops. Someone yells Dokja and demands Minyoung entertain their guests, talk about pressure. Minyoung's just strolling past, totally unfazed, while the poor fighter is dragged along. A dog starts barking at the scene, and honestly, it's probably the most sensible one here. Two other guys are watching, one asking if it's okay to just let Minyoung take him, concerned, but also kinda amused. The other guy confidently says he'll be fine, then suggests they all sit and rest while this unfolds. Smooth. Okay, so this dude has been captured, tied up, and is getting the 3rd degree from a very intense guy. He's demanding to know where our boy learned the sky-breaking school's techniques, but Dokja isn't budging, straight up refusing to talk. The interrogator offers to spare his life if he confesses, but Dokja is clearly taking the pain, and honestly, good for him. Dokja explains the sky-breaking school only teaches those with true humanity, and since he isn't part of it, he shouldn't know anything. The guy's getting a little too interested in Dokja's fiery eyes. It's creepy, and Dokja knows it. But then, a voice interrupts. It's his master, and Dokja immediately warns him he shouldn't be here. Dokja says meeting his master now is a bad thing, and you can tell he's gearing up for something big. And just like that, everything goes black. No way, what just happened? Dokja's master lays it all out. He has mirror sight, letting him read emotions, and it's a sky-breaking school skill. But here's the kicker, his master's a half-human, half-Neanderthal titan, which explains the power, honestly. Someone shouts, demanding to know who this mysterious dude is, and Dokja's master just stands there barefoot. The master's got a cut on his lip, and he's looking straight up furious, which is a little unsettling. Suddenly, a notification pops up. Constellation, Demon of Salvation looks at you. What is happening? The notification keeps coming, and it's clear this Demon of Salvation is paying very close attention. And then bam, the master's eyes glow, revealing a terrifying power. This dude is not messing around. Dokja's master is reading the emotions of everyone in the room, and it's a total power move. He's scanning the crowd, and you can tell he's looking for something, or someone specific. But wait, the master's gaze lands on someone, and his expression turns cold. Oh no, this is getting intense. The Demon of Salvation keeps dropping notifications, and it's clear he's urging Dokja to trust his master. Wild. The master suddenly silences a blonde guy with mana, straight up blocking the sound. Talk about a power move. Everyone's shocked, and someone points out how a master of the sky-breaking sword can do that. It's insane. Dokja's face is a mess, showing all the emotion, and the master's hand reaches for him. What is going on? The master grabs Dokja's face, and for a second it looks intense, but then he reveals his name is Young-Hyuk. No way, that's a total curveball, and Dokja is visibly stunned. The master is reading Dokja's emotions, and it's kinda creepy, but also we need answers. The master is scanning everyone again, and his expression is stone cold. This dude is serious. But the Demon of Salvation is still chiming in, insisting Dokja believe in his master. It's a lot to process. The master's eyes glow, and he's clearly about to unleash something big. Brace yourselves, it's about to go down. Dokja blurts out that he was someone, and the master's reaction is weirdly cold, honestly. This dude, Young-Hyuk, casually reveals he doesn't remember taking Dokja on as a pupil. Ouch, that's rough. Dokja tries to explain he learned Young-Hyuk's techniques, but the master cuts him off, demanding to know what he means. Dokja, now hanging by ropes, straight up calls Young-Hyuk ma'am, and she's shook like genuinely surprised. The system is going wild, telling everyone to address her properly as the incarnation sky-breaking sword master, the Shade. Young-hyuk asks if he's curious about who she is, and Dokja answers with a very intense, of course, immensely. She's definitely playing with him, and Dokja is totally caught in her web. This is getting good. Young-hyuk presses him, asking what exactly he meant by learning her techniques, and Dokja's eyes are glowing. Dokja reveals he read the novel, the entire novel, and knows everything, but Young-hyuk doesn't seem impressed. However, Young-hyuk states that she's the only one who knows the truth and Dokja is only seeing a fragment. What? Young-hyuk lays down the law of 5 minutes to explain everything or else, and Dokja is immediately on the defensive. Dokja explains he's seen this all before, that he knows the future, but Young-hyuk doesn't buy it for a second. She claims she holds the true knowledge and Dokja is just grasping at fragments. Talk about a power move. Suddenly, Young-hyuk attacks. She's moving at impossible speeds, swinging her sword right at Dokja. Dokja barely dodges, but she's relentless and he's struggling to keep up. This is intense. Young-hyuk binds him with her energy, no way, and starts dragging him through what looks like a digital world. Dokja's eyes glow with that familiar blue energy, and he's accessing something huge. This is where it gets wild. He's diving deep into the system, straight into the core of the story, and it's overloading with data. But Young-hyuk isn't impressed. She's unfazed, staring right at Dokja with a terrifying intensity. She's straight up saying because he's a regressor, he's bound to meet her again in another life. Dokja's all cool and collected, but Young-hyuk's stare is intense, like she sees right through him. Okay, so this fluffy demon thing shows up, straight up offering Dokja a deal, eternal life for a price. Dokja's totally shocked, obviously, because this creature is a major player from the novel's backstory. He's trying to figure out what this thing wants, but it's clear this isn't a simple negotiation. They are at some temple and our boy is meeting with Young-hyuk, but things are tense to say the least. Young-hyuk is being super condescending, telling Dokja to stop trying to comfort him, like wow. But Young-hyuk then casually drops that he took down 2 huge baddies in a previous scenario, showing off big time. Dokja hears all this and is like, yeah, I already knew that, keeping his cards close to his chest. Young-hyuk thinks he's so different now, but Dokja straight up tells him he hasn't changed at all. And honestly, this dude is being so smug, it's annoying, but we know Dokja's got a plan. Young-hyuk brags about his power, but Dokja's silent reaction is saying, we'll see about that. Young-hyuk's asking if the demon creature has something to do with why Dokja is here. Dokja straight up says the demon isn't his friend, just someone super shady. Young-hyuk is losing it, demanding to know what Dokja and this sky-breaking sword master are up to. The demon thing wants Dokja to submit his techniques, like seriously, it thinks it can just take them. These little demon spirits are floating around and Young-hyuk is totally freaking out about them. Turns out, people have been trying to buy Young-hyuk's martial arts skills for a while now, huh? They've been at it longer than Dokja expected, and Young-hyuk reveals he's the only one left who can resist. Young-hyuk claims he's been holding out for some time, but honestly, he sounds exhausted. And now he's saying he's the only one left. That's a bold claim, bro. Dokja's just standing there, silently judging, and we love to see it. Dokja's all cool and collected, saying he can handle things, but it's giving off major I know something you don't vibes. Young-hyuk's shocked Dokja isn't freaking out. Apparently, he expected punishment for something. Wait, a shadowy figure is running through the cherry blossoms, and Young-hyuk's about to get attacked. No way, that little demon spirit is begging for its life, and Dokja's just standing there. This dude is getting absolutely blasted by demonic energy, but Dokja seems unbothered. A constellation is moving because of Dokja's actions. This is getting intense. Dokja casually agrees to whatever Young-hyuk wants, and honestly, it's kinda creepy. Young-hyuk asks if Dokja came for the sky-breaking sword master's techniques, straight up to the point. The little demons are still floating around, looking terrified, while Dokja's playing it cool. Dokja's face is so smug in this panel. He's definitely got a plan brewing, and we're here for it. Okay, so the little demon spirit Yoongi is straight up accusing someone of being low-level rude. But wait, it turns out Yoongi recognizes Dokja. This dude is apparently infamous even in the demon world. Dokja's playing it cool, acting like he knew Yoongi all along. Master manipulator, honestly. Yoongi's going on and on about Dokja being the reader, and Young-hyuk's totally confused, asking what's happening. Dokja casually confirms it. He is the reader, and Young-hyuk's shocked, wondering if Biom is okay. No way, Yongi starts glowing and it looks like he's about to merge with someone or something. Yongi fully transforms, becoming a little dude in a suit, and he's all cheerful, thanking Dokja. However, this isn't a heartwarming reunion because another figure shows up, demanding to know where Byung is. This guy's intense and Dokja's giving him the look. It's about to go down, I can feel it. Dokja casually asks if Byung is doing well, but his voice is laced with menace. Our boy is not playing games. Dokja's laying down a deal. He'll convince the sky-breaking sword master to sell her techniques, but wants 2 favors in return. Young is shocked, asking if Dokja means it, but our boy flashes a peace sign and says he does. Dokja lays out his first favor. He wants Skybreaker to be a prize in the upcoming scenario. The man in black is losing it, demanding to know how Dokja knew about the scenario. Dokja casually tells him to put Skybreaker up as a prize, and honestly, the confidence is unreal. Young is asking what techniques they need, Phoenix Walk or 100-step Godly Fists, but Dokja cuts him off. He straight up says they need Skybreaker, and the man in black is furious. Yongi is bewildered, but Dokja doesn't even flinch, maintaining his cool under pressure. The man in black finally demands to know how Dokja knew about the scenario, and honestly, good question. Dokja just smirks. He's playing a whole other level of chess, and everyone else is just pawns. Dokja reveals he knew about the scenario because he read the novel. No way, he's dropping truth bombs. However, the man in black is still refusing to believe him, demanding proof. Okay, so the sky is doing this weird sunrise moonset thing. Total Omen vibes, right? We see a massive ancient gate with these huge, intimidating characters carved into it. Dokja's here, looking all brooding and powerful, with a mysterious guy standing behind him. This dude is seriously rocking some fancy, laced-up boots, but they're starting to fall apart, awkward. Dokja's revealing he originally planned to introduce someone to the ancient titans himself, no less. But now he's changed his mind, letting someone else handle it. A total power move, honestly. And then bam, an archangel pops up, giggling and totally obsessed with Dokja. Talk about a curveball. She's showering him with hearts and compliments, but it's all part of a bigger plan, apparently. Turns out this isn't just any affection. She's revealing something about her second round, getting intense. Dokja's just standing there looking all stoic, but you can tell he's processing everything. This dude is a mastermind. Okay, so someone is questioning Dokja's plan to join the martial arts competition, like seriously doubting him. But the other guy straight up warns him he could die, saying this competition isn't a joke. He claims he's way stronger than he was last time, but Dokja isn't backing down. This dude is determined. The guy starts to get physical, grabbing Dokja's shoulder, but our boy doesn't even flinch. Dokja reveals he trained in the time layer within the dark dimension. No way, that sounds intense. And get this, he was in there for 100 years. That's some serious dedication. The other guy is shocked, admitting he can't imagine how difficult that training must have been. Dokja says he got to stage 3 in his last round, hinting he's aiming even higher this time. He declares he will make it work, and honestly, we believe him. But the other guy is still concerned. This competition is gonna be brutal for sure. The guys all like using the time layer damages your soul. Talk about a dramatic warning. He admits he couldn't beat Dokja last round, even with the time layer. Ouch, that's gotta sting. This dude is straight up bragging, saying Dokja needs a century of training to catch up, super cocky. Dokja's just lying there all calm, while this guy keeps ranting about how much better he is. But Dokja drops a bomb. He says it'll be more fun than when this guy was a clueless fool. The guy's about to respond, well, actually, he thinks he has a comeback brewing. Suddenly, a massive dog bursts into the scene, yawning total chaos, honestly. The dog's got a bandage on its paw, and everyone's looking at it. Seems like it's seen some action. Dokja's still chilling, but he tells the guy he doesn't remember exactly what happened. Mysterious. And that's it for now. Dokja's playing it cool, but you know something big is about to go down. Dokja's asking for more martial arts training, straight up admitting he needs help. Humble flex. The teacher is shocked, asking what Dokja wants, but Dokja's already getting tossed around. This training is no joke, it won't be easy, and it's clearly painful for our boy. The teacher explains the techniques weren't designed for men, but Dokja says he can handle it, confident. A notification pops up saying the constellation likes to change sexes. What is happening? Dokja's face is changing and the constellation's power is clearly taking effect. Wild. The teacher tells him to keep this a secret, but Dokja's body is straight up transforming. No way, Dokja's cracking and contorting. It looks incredibly painful, but he's pushing through. The teacher's freaking out, telling him not to tell anyone, while lightning crackles around Dokja. Dokja's transformation is complete, and honestly, that's a whole new level of dedication. Dokja suddenly gets bombarded with messages. Apparently, people are questioning his contributions to the Kim industrial complex. A story about Dokja being a swindler is spreading, but he's totally confused, asking what's going on. He's lying on the wooden floor trying to process everything, and honestly, it looks rough. The teacher rushes over, demanding to know what Dokja is doing, but our boy claims he was just thinking. Dokja's body starts shifting again, and he's ripping his shirt off. Talk about a distraction. The teacher's freaking out, asking if he was off training, while Dokja's muscles are bulging like crazy. Suddenly, a massive wolf head appears, filling the panel and letting out a ferocious woof. No way. The teacher is absolutely stunned by the transformation, while Dokja is straight up becoming a beast. Dokja's body is completely changed, and the teacher is still reeling from what he's witnessed. The wolf lets out another woof, and the teacher is clearly terrified. This is getting intense. The teacher and another guy are checking out Dokja's crazy transformation, but they're arguing about his gender. The teacher thinks Dokja is a talented girl, while the other guy straight up says he's a dude. The teacher insists this girl learns martial arts at an incredible speed, but the other guy is not having it. The teacher finally realizes his mistake. Dokja is absolutely a guy, and he's getting roasted for it. The other teacher asks if the first one needs an eye exam, and honestly, same. They're bickering about how Dokja was written in the novel, and it's a total distraction from the beast he's become.